It's my alarm to go to work. I'm here. I have one job, and that's to put the green screen up. Guess what I've not done? Have a guess. Literally one job, and that's put the green screen up. And what's not been done? Whose fault is this? Now, I know it's mine, but could we all just pretend that it wasn't? Alright, hang on. I'm getting ready. Ugh. Oh, the green screen. It's so heavy. There we go. Alright, I'm a daily streamer now, guys, so I'm going to start holding political opinions on things I don't really understand, but I'm going to say them with confidence as if I do. Please be with me during this trying time of my life. I also have a fan on facing me because it's crazy warm in this room. Hoping you can't hear the fan. Let me know if you can. I'm going to start reacting, don't I? I'll start reacting to myself. What I'm going to start doing is reacting to reaction vids. That's the meta. That apparently is what you need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Hello. Good evening. Good afternoon. Wherever you are. I even put a notice out on the Discord about the fact that I'll be here 6 PM until 10 PM. I like how this exact angle makes that look like a bald spot on my head when it's just I've put too much gel on my hair and I've done a thing where the hair's kind of fallen out of that bit because I've pulled it this way and then that way. Like, it's still there. It's just perfectly misaligned from the camera now. Oh my god, you start playing World of Warcraft daily and apparently you just go bald. That's like, I didn't realize it was a thing. It's a curse. That's just a thing now. I'm going to sit in like this, the most unflattering angle I can possibly find. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find the worst angle I can possibly sit in and just sit in that constantly. You shouldn't have mentioned it, now everyone will think it. That's fine, people are going to think worse things anyway. You know, because of that, you don't deserve the DVD logo anymore. You don't get that, that's going away. I've decided that I'm going to stream every single day. That's my new plan. Will it go well? Probably not. But you know what? We're here now. We're here, we're going to see what happens. I'm going to go and kill some great gore tusks. How do you play the Paladin again? It's been at least 10 hours since I last played it. So, there we go. I know what to do. You just pretty much auto-attack and then wait. That's why I like this class. Someone said to me, I can't believe the Paladin is interesting you, because it's just auto-attacking all the way until level 70. And I'm like, you've already sold it to me. You don't need to make it sound better. Yeah, that's perfect. You stand there and hit things. I can do that. Anyway, yeah, the point is that I'm going to be doing daily streams from 6 o'clock until 10 o'clock because that allows me to play a serious amount of WoW and make progress and learn my class and do dungeons and raids with you guys and catch up on all the daily news and what's going on. Is this another experiment? No, this is me actually finding a level of consistency because what I was able to do is there's a couple of things I want to do in my life. Obviously, I want to be able to walk the dogs. That's very important. I want to be able to hit the gym. I want to be able to eat healthy. I want to be able to spend some time painting Warhammer. I want to be able to make YouTube videos. I want to be able to Twitch stream. And what I was originally doing to try and make time for all these things was just like dedicating one day to doing them. So I would say, okay, Saturday and Sunday, I Twitch stream. Monday, I'm going to paint some Warhammer. Tuesday, I'm going to spend all day doing YouTube stuff. Wednesday, I'm going to go and hit the gym, that kind of stuff. But I realized that that wasn't actually being consistent enough with any of them to really make a difference with any of them. So I thought, okay, what if I just divide it down by hours? What if I, wake up in the morning, first hour and a half of my day, walk the dogs. Then we get in, next half an hour, do some exercises, cook some breakfast, do an hour of housework, then spend 4 or 5 hours working on the next YouTube video, then spend 4 or 5 hours Twitch streaming, then spend an hour painting Warhammer, then go to bed. That way I am balancing my days around doing a little bit of everything instead of dedicating each day to like being really good at one thing. Because I also realized that if I just dedicated a day to just Twitch streaming, by the time it gets to the next week, I will have forgotten what I was doing. I straight away would have done. I would forget my rotation. If I don't play this game for 4 or 5 days, I forget my rotation. We all do. Have you ever logged back into an RPG that you haven't played for a week and your first question is, what the hell was I doing? We've all been there. So, just like being a normal person. Yeah, pretty much. I decided that apparently the secret to being a successful Twitch streamer is just to kind of divide and compartmentalize your time like regular people have been doing for hundreds of years. you're having trouble remembering when I will be streaming, is there a kind of handy-dandy rhyme that you could use to remind you? There is, actually. 6 till 10 every day. That's the rhyme. How's the gym going then? You know what? Pretty good. I'm kind of enjoying it. Can I sing the rhyme? No, it's more of a spoken word beat poem. You can't sing it. You have to. If you sing it in your heart. Everyone finds a different level. Was that a haiku? It wasn't. Because haikus go what? 5, 7, 5? I couldn't do it with that. We'll stick with 6 till 10 every day. That's UK time. Whatever time that is for your own local time zone, you have to, you know, convert. That's the whole rhyme. 6 till 10 every day. That's UK time. Whatever time that is for your local time, you have to, you know, convert. There we go. No all-day weekend streams. No, I couldn't keep streaming for 8 hours. That was silly. The streams got shit after 4 hours and just became me being annoyed and angry and ranting at stuff. So instead, if I do 4 hours every day, I'm going to get right up to the cusp of ranting and then stop. So you're never going to get, like, a rant. Which, honestly, is perfect. Ooh, question. Spell power. I think I actually need spell power, don't I? Spell power is very important to paladins because I'd gain stamina. Stamina's good. I actually want the people's greaves. Spell power's going to need to be increased. Okay, I'd lose. I'd gain +3 stamina. Okay, so if I do that, stamina increases my... Okay, let's have a look. Health by 280. Stick these on. Health goes to 310. Oh, that's way better. 30 more health. Is each stamina 10 health? I didn't realize that. I think you're going to gain days of your life back that way. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. What is my favorite thing that I don't need? That's a good question. My favorite thing that I don't need. I'm going to think about that and give you a serious answer later. You're playing Raw with no add-ons, yeah? No, I've got Questy. So I know where the quests are and where I'm going for those. And I've got Leatrix maps, so it alters the map slightly so I can see where else I'm going. But I'm not using damage meters or weak auras or stuff like that. Alright, let's hand you all these things. Oh, terrible and terrible. Both will be immediately sold to this guy over here. Josh does ping every time he goes live on the Discord. That's true, you can mute those pings if you want to, if it's annoying you. Trust me, it annoys me. Any painting advice for a first 40k army, Josh? Paint what looks cool. And purchase and paint based on what looks cool, not on what rules are good. Rules change. Looking cool is forever. If someone says, I can't believe you bought that model is crap, in the next edition, in the edition after that, it might be the absolute meta. You don't know, but I guarantee it's always going to look cool. Build what looks cool, paint what looks cool, play what looks cool. If you want to play a game of Warhammer 40k, choose your opponent based on the vibes you want that game to have. Like, if you want to have a completely hardcore, sweaty meta game where your opponent brings, like, 3 knights and you bring whatever the meta is of Sisters of Battle, that's fine, you can do that. Find the way that works for you. But if you want to play a fun, thematic game of narrative versus narrative, that works as well. I honestly think one of the worst things that Warhammer 40k did was try to become this is going to sound silly, try to become a balanced battle game instead of a silly war simulator. Like, it's not the best tournament game, and I understand that balancing the rules can sound fun, but sometimes having silly rules just gives you a good laugh. Like, the Orc transport rules used to just be however many models you can balance on the transport. Which is silly. It's also completely broken, but if you want to play the game just for like a silly fun, having a good time, go for it. That's what I think you should do. I think everyone should play Warhammer for the silly time. And if you get into that argument of, well, no, technically they don't have line of sight because their base is 1 millimeter inside the actual ruin, just talk to your friends and be like, okay, you know what, we can't decide whether this rule does or doesn't happen. How about we just flip a coin, and if it does, this happens, if it doesn't, this happens. You know, just make a nice, fun ruling. You don't play Warhammer with a friend in order to work out who is better at working out technical rules. You play it because you both want to play with toy soldiers for a bit. You both want to hang around and be a little bit silly for a while. You both want to put your little plastic dudes on the table and make them go and kiss the other plastic dudes. That's what you want to do. Anyone that wants to get into a game that's just about the perfect technical rules, just play Magic the Gathering. Anyone that wants to sit there and play a fun time with your little painted toys against somebody else's painted toys, great. That's what Warhammer is for. That's what it is to me. If it isn't to you, that's fine as well. It doesn't need to be. Not everything needs to be everything to everyone. All diplomatic decisions made with a coin flip, and there's Magic the Gathering decks pretty much entirely built around that, to be honest. Right, we're going to go back over to Lochmoden, because Lochmoden is where most of my quests are right now. Magic the Gathering felt like League of Legends in card form. Depends who you play with. If you play with fun people, the game is fun. I know that sounds stupid, but people often forget that. I think the biggest thing people forget with almost any game they play, whether it's a card game, or a board game, or a tabletop battle game, or a video game, any kind of game, it is fun if you play with people that want to have the same type of fun as you. Like, I've had people before say, hey, why don't we house rule this board game? And it's the very first time we've played it. And I'm like, you know what? For the first time, let's just play it the way it's meant to be played. And then if we all like it, we can work out house rules that work for us. I've got no problem with house rules if everyone agrees they make the game better. Like, I've got a house rule that me and my friends do for Warhammer 40k, which reduces the first turn advantage, but I would never suggest starting it if you've never played the game before. If you play Warhammer 40k, then you'll understand where the house rule is coming from. If you haven't, let me kind of explain. So in Warhammer, it's you go with your army, the opponent goes with their army, you go with your army. But this gives a massive advantage to the person who goes first, because if you go first, then you can just shoot all of your guns into the enemy, wipe out their big models, which means when it's their turn, what effectively is the first turn of the game for them, they then don't have their whole army there. They've lost part of their army immediately, which means first turn advantage is a real thing. So what me and my house rules and my mates do is this. We have the your turn, my turn, and then the death turn. So on my turn, I shoot all my guns, and I mark down where all of the damage has happened on your army. Then, you take your turn, but nothing's been removed yet. And you can shoot your entire army all at mine, as if both sides shot at the same time. And then you mark where all the damage has gone onto mine, and then after you've had your go and I've had my go, we then count up what has died and remove it from both sides. So like if it's my go first and I shoot all of my weapons into your knight, even if I would kill your knight in my shooting phase, on your first turn, I still want your knight to get a go, because what I imagine it doing from a narrative point of view is that as it takes all the ordnance and explodes, it just fires all of its weapons off against whatever it can see. And then it obviously hits and destroys some of my guys, and then it's my turn again. I shoot, then you shoot, and then we mark all the death, and then everything gets removed. Yeah, the projectiles are like on their way. That's the way I see it anyway. If it works for you, it works for you. It works for me. It means that there's no feels bad turn one moments, because the feels bad turn one moments, you don't want them. They don't feel good. Does that not make the turn two person stats have the unfair advantage? I mean, potentially, because they know where all the damage is going. What it also means is, and this is what I really like, it means that any healing effects that remove wounds, or effectively add wounds back on, if you will, just get taken off where the death points have been put. So if you've got an apothecary in your army, and your Space Marine squad takes 10 wounds, which is going to kill it, you can use your healer's turn to add back 2 to 3 wounds to that unit, so when the damage happens, the unit isn't completely wiped out. I just don't like it where... I don't like the person going second to feel like they are immediately starting with the disadvantage. I want it to feel like the first turn of the game is both of our first turns. That's just like the chilled way that we do it. And you know what? It's not perfect. It obviously introduces a couple of other problems, because you understand that if you go first and you shoot all your damage and your opponent then knows which of their units have been, shall we say, wiped out, then they might be incentivized to move in a different way that they would have moved before. They might be incentivized to retreat or to attack. It's going to change around their ability. But what's important to me is that on their first turn of the game, they've got their whole army. And for me, that removes what I would refer to as a feels bad moment. Most of my house rules are about removing feels bad moments. If it feels bad to do, then is there a way that we can still make it happen without it feeling as bad? Josh, do I think wearing the same shirt for a long time is socially unacceptable? No, I think it's very socially acceptable. And I think if I continue to wear this shirt, eventually I will save a lot of money on washing as it just melds to me. And I become one with the shirt. Oh god, yeah, Shell. I mean, I play Imperial Guard, and I know exactly how devastating the artillery can be, and as much as I want to shell my opponent on turn 1, I don't want to be a dick, so I want to shell them knowing that they still get a chance to shoot back. That's the best way to do it. Just tattoo a shirt onto you. Have you guys ever seen those old documentary TV shows about extremely overweight people, and there was a woman that sat on a sofa for so long that her skin ended up growing into the sofa? Like, she didn't move for literal years, and then when the paramedics tried to get her off the sofa, there was actually parts of her skin had grown interwoven with the fibers of the sofa. I'm trying to do that with this shirt. That's my plan. Alright, it's convenient. What in the world? I am sorry that some of you may not have known that and I've now ruined your day, but you should go and watch it. Some of you did not grow up on Channel 5 documentaries, and it shows. In the UK, we had a TV channel called Channel 5, which I'm pretty sure was built to show the weirdest documentaries that it could possibly find. Alright, Channel 5 was it was a weird channel. We can all admit that. Like, there was some weird stuff going on there. Okay, so what am I doing? We've got level 17 in Defense of the King's Lands, and we've got level 19 stuff up there. Level 19? Well, I'm nearly level 19, and I've got a quest over there I can hand in. Fantastic. I can hand you in. That might give me just enough experience to level up. Yeah, Channel 5 was weird, man, for documentaries. 5 was the table scraps of British television. It was, and you know what? We loved it. We absolutely loved it. Cheerio, welcome to the stream. How you doing today? For anyone who's just joining us, I'm going to be streaming daily, 6 PM until 10 PM. And if you can't remember those times, here is a special rhyme for you. Every day, 6 till 10. That's the rhyme for you. Just remember that, and everything will be good. Didn't want to make it too complicated this time. What do I think of the term slop being thrown around in the media? Slop games, slop stories, slop novels. It's just the newest kind of fad. It's the newest trend. It'll fall off eventually. It always does. People find a word they really like. They kind of pick up on it. They go for it. It becomes... Ironically, it's becoming the slop word. It's just slop at this point. It's a good word to describe things. I get the vibe. A lot of descriptive... People don't get this. A lot of descriptive words are good because they give you the vibe of the thing. Like, you understand the energy of the thing. And that's what a description should be. A description should give you the energy. It doesn't necessarily need to tell you everything about it objectively, factually, correctly, or truly. You don't need all of the information right now. What you need to know is how this thing's going to make you feel. And that's what descriptive words do really well. So if I said to someone, hey, what's this film like? And they went, oh, it's just, you know, it's just martial arts slop. I'm thinking, okay, I could get into that. That could be fine. If it's just going to be a load of martial arts fighting, great. That might be what I want for the weekend. It's just a way of giving you the vibes of what the thing is. Am I concerned about the fact that scientists are genetically engineering giant intelligent spiders? No, for a couple of reasons. One, they're scientists. I think they know what they're doing. And two, they're intelligent spiders, which means as soon as they have sentience, they will see themselves, freak out, and die. You know, we have to understand, if they were breeding massive, unintelligent spiders, we'd have a problem. I am personally annoyed that we're spending more time engineering giant mutant spiders and not as much time engineering catgirls. I do need to ask science what it's doing with that, because I think it's... We should have them by now. We really should. Scientists just need to go to Australia and realise that all of that stuff's already been made. Like, it's not necessary. We've already done it. Oh, you know what? I could get a calendar on level over there. I could even go and level up in my old favourite this place where you get the... What's the thing again? The Draenei? Yeah, I could go and level in the old Draenei starting zone. We will have all-powerful artificial general intelligence before we have catgirls. And that saddens me. As I think, honestly, it should sadden us all. Your son speaks highly of you. I'm glad. He has really come out of himself. He has greatly improved his speech impediment, doing some techniques you taught him. He doesn't know that I'm messing you. Hope you see it. I do indeed see it. I'm really glad that whatever I've said has been able to help him. Sometimes the best way to get over anything that you are struggling with is just to try and defeat that demon in a way that you feel comfortable. I would say that if you are having trouble with public speaking or a speech impediment, one of the best things you can do, and I think anyone that has done any kind of public speaking will understand exactly where I'm coming from here, is slow down. Some of the best advice I ever got about doing, whether it was job interviews or public speaking, is when you walk onto a stage, when you walk into a job interview, your mind might be thinking that all those people there are judging you, that they're looking for faults, they're looking for problems. But consider this. They have a problem. And you are the solution. They don't want to interview people. They don't want to sit through endless lectures. They would like to find someone who can solve their problem. They would like to find someone to give them the information they need. They want you to fix the problem they have. They don't want to judge you and go on to the next one. They find no joy in this. When I walk into a job interview or when I walk on stage to speech, the audience have a problem. I am the solution. That's the way I look at it. People think that everyone else is watching them do everything in a way that involves judging them and pointing out every mistake. I guarantee the majority of the audience are just hoping that you can solve their problem. That's what it is. If you are interviewing for a job, if you are the interviewer and a candidate walks through that door that ticks every box and is pleasant to work with, fantastic, you've just saved yourself some time. You're not going to sit there going, well, you're perfect for the job and you get on with everyone, but one of your shoes was laced slightly differently to the other. No. Big cross, get out the room. That's not what they do. They want you to solve their problem so they can stop, so they can go home. Adrio, hello, welcome to you. How are you doing today? Hang on, no, I'm going to make sure I'm pronouncing this correctly. Is it Aridot Raw? Or Aridotra. I'm going to say it pronounced. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation. Very sorry about that. Anyway, let's grab this. What do you want? Investigate the dam. I can investigate the dam with the best of them. Oh, this was what I thought was like a really high jump before, wasn't it? Like, I thought this was like a crazy big start of GoldenEye style dam leap, and I leapt off, and it's just there. It was a little bit underwhelming, I'm going to be honest. It's the first one. Aerodot Raw. There we go. I knew I'd get it right. Anyway, yeah, so public speaking and doing any kind of business thing, I guarantee people are hoping that you solve their problem straight away. They are not there judging you or wishing for you to fail. I'm going to press P for Spellbook, and I'm going to see if I have a different blessing. I'm sure I had a different aura, didn't I? No, not aura, different blessing that randomly may have done more damage at some point. It was like you occasionally hit your weapon's damage on something. Oh, I've got to try and get all these guys away. This is going to be a problem. Can I line of sight pull this guy? I mean, it's difficult to line of sight pull when the line of sight's just literally everything. Here we go. Alright, cool. Time to Paladin. Lock in, guys. Alright, one sec. I'm just focusing for a minute. Got to really focus. Okay, that went way better than I expected it to go. Okay, I think we can all admit that was a good bit of self-tanking. Alright, we stank. Right there. Self-tanking or stanking? Don't you... how don't you... coming in and taking this key item. Good lord. You've made an enemy for life, my friend. Do I need to watch all the previous streams to have context? Yes, you actually need to go back and watch every stream. Not just mine. All of them. A lot of jokes we make in this stream build on the context of previous both streams and YouTube videos. So, start with my day at the zoo on YouTube and just work your way up from there. See if you end up understanding it. You know if ghosts are wet? That's a question that we will ask until the day we die. Ironically, on that day, we will be able to answer it. This island is brutal. Like, I really thought that I would have been able to, do I have... I do need some more damage from this. I'm out of mana. A paladin with no mana. That's rare. I can't imagine paladins ever running into mana trouble. I can't imagine I'll have mana problems in the future. Raider's short sword of strength. I'll take it and I will sell it to a vendor. Let me just read through. Ghosts are capable of sliming someone, therefore wet is a possibility. This is why scientists are creating massive intelligent super spiders. They read this chat and think, you brought it upon yourself. You deserve it at this point. Of all the sentences you could have not said, that is one of the sentences you could have not said the most. Am I playing Era or the Burning Crusade? The Burning Crusade. TBC. That's what I'm doing. How do we fight 5-foot spiders? Well, if you're fighting 5-foot spiders, someone's already taken off 3 of the legs, so we have an advantage straight away. Arachnid body shape jokes. You don't get many of them. Hoping that guy doesn't notice me while I steal Bingle's hammer. Yeah. Yeah, we got Bingle's hammer. Pretty quick fire on that one. Thank you. That's why I only stream 4 hours. The first hour can be good and entertaining. The next 3 hours, honestly, is just regret. My stream energy matches the same energy that World of Warcraft gives people. The opening is really good, and then as it continues, it just gets slowly worse, and we all start to wish it was the same way that it was a few years ago. I've found my audience perfectly. Will I play Classic Plus if it ever releases? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. That sounds great. I'll be well up for that. Hey, we leveled up. Let's increase the parry chance to 5%. Oh, here we go. Right, you're next. Is my stream produced straight to VHS? I'm sorry, VHS, the mainstream thing? No, alright, we're going Betamax. That's what we're doing. After this, all the money's going into laser discs. I can hear a scratching at the door, which means there's a dog trying to get to me. I will open the door so the dog can get in a moment. You miss playing Paladin in Classic. Panic in their eyes as you use Blessing of Freedom on their slow. So, I don't understand how to play Paladin yet. Apparently it's just big hammer go bonk. And that's what I know. That's all I know. What video am I most proud of on my channel? I love all my children equally. There are some videos that I've made that I look back on and think that was a good video, some I think it was a bad video. I enjoyed making the Druid joke video for Path of Exile 2 because of the freedom they gave me. I enjoyed reviewing the RuneScape 3 mobile client because it was almost a moment of validation when I knew that Jagex trusted me to objectively actually review their game mobile client. That was lovely. There was a moment where I made a video where I worked out how much it would cost to play every single MMORPG. Turns out it would cost about £600 a month if you did as much as you possibly could. So there's lots of different videos that I've made that have made me feel pride in different ways. There's that moment where you kind of look and you think, I've achieved, I've kind of made something of myself, and the recognition from one's peers and companies that one respects is always a beautiful moment. And then, of course, you get recognition from your friends, recognition from your family, that kind of stuff. There are some videos that I am proud of the research I did into them, and some videos that I am proud of the reception and the feedback that I got from them. So I suppose it's a different level of pride of what you got through them. How much do you think it would cost you if you bought every cosmetic for every MMO ever? Cryer, are you doing market research for Activision? You're trying to work out a number and then just go slightly below it. I think, honestly, if you are, just understand that purchasing cosmetics gives me such a sense of pride and accomplishment. I am upset every day that I don't get to drink my verification can before playing whatever game I'm playing. What happened to the Warlock? They drowned. Don't forget you can flex on all the free-to-play peasants. They're not free-to-play peasants, okay? They are the krill that the whales must eat. The free-to-play players are an essential part. People forget this. They're an essential part of the economy. People always talk about the MMORPG whales. Whales need food. People forget this. This is genuinely part of the marketing. If you are not paying for something, then you are the product. Why do you think MMORPGs allow so many people to play for free? It's because in order to capture a whale, someone who will pay more money to be above everyone else, there has to be an everyone else to be above. People always seem to forget this. Sometimes the free-to-play players are the benchmark which you are measured against. So when people are like, I'm going to play this game for free, I can't believe I'm getting all this for free, you're part of the product. Beating you is what the other people that are paying money actually enjoy doing. Whales don't like to fight against other whales. People don't like to actually be challenged. They like to win. That's the point. I explain this to people often. Part of the whaling process is working out who you can just immediately batter into submission. If you don't pay for the product, guys, you're part of it. It's been 35 minutes and already we are into the doomer portion of this stream. The sadness portion. Although, I do need to make it scarily apparent how much whales pay for games. People think if they spend a couple of £100 a month on a game, they're a whale. Nowhere near. Right, that's cute to a whale. And you said you couldn't find something to rant about. 35 minutes. We can speed run the ranting. Maybe the entire stream just gets condensed. It's still an 8-hour stream. I just do it in 4 hours. Weekday streams, how long will these last? In the words of Gandalf, as long as they can. What kind of WoW is this? This is the Burning Crusade anniversary. You think you spent all in all 5k on Guild Wars 2, no regrets. I mean, take it by how many hours you've actually spent playing the game. Give an hour entertainment a monetary value that is fair for you, and then work out how much money you have or haven't spent. I mean, people will go to the cinema in order to watch a 2-hour film and they'll pay 20 quid. At that point, you're kind of casting your time as, what, £10 an hour to be entertained? If you buy a 40-hour video game and it costs you 40 quid, then you've effectively spent £1 for an hour of entertainment. If you think that $1 or £1 for 1 hour of entertainment is fair, and you've spent £1,000 on a game, but you've got over 1,000 hours worth of entertainment from it, great. I mean, some people will purchase a book for £10 to £15 and it will take them 4 or 5 hours to read. Some people it will take them 2 or 3 weeks to read. Work it out the way you want it to do. Because some people, and I always remind people of this, you've got 2 major resources, money and time, and you will value the one that you have the least of. If you have absolutely loads of free time, but not much money, then you will be hesitant to spend money, but you'll be absolutely okay spending time on something. Because that's the resource that you've got more of, and that's the resource that you don't mind losing. That's why if you don't have a huge amount of cash to spend, a game that is free is a really, really good choice for you. If you have not much free time, but an absolute load of money, then we get to the point where you'd actually rather spend the money on something than the time, because to you, you won't see the money going away, but you will see the time being spent. So sometimes people would say to me that they can't believe that people would spend money to advance in a game or get this or buy this or do that. And as much as I like to take the piss out of it, when I say, oh, you bought the level skip, did you? You paid more money to play less game, how smart are you? Actually, if that person only has like 2 or 3 hours a week free to play a game because they're a super high-powered, busy executive, then I do get that the trade of spending the money in order to get to the time that you want to spend is the best choice for that person. You spend the resources that you have the most of. If you have a lot of time but no money, that's the resource that you want to spend. What if you don't have a lot of time and not a lot of money? Could I entrust you in RuneScape? Companies have noticed this, and some of the free games end up the most expensive in the long run. Oh god, yeah, without a doubt. One thing that I do need to... Hang on, that scraping at the door is going to continue until I give this dog some love. Come on, I can see you're there. Come on, I can... It's okay, you can be in here, that's fine. You can go to bed. Come on. There you are, boy. I know you're trying to get me to say hi. I'll say hello to you. Hello. Oh, hello. Are we climbing onto my chair now? Hello. Hi. Hi. Sup? What's going on? High five. Yeah! Good boy. Well done. How's it going? Hey. Do I get a lick? Do I get one lick? Do I get one little boop? No, no licks today. Just lick at my arms. Okay. Lick at my hand. That's fine. Hang on. I'm being attacked by a spider. You've got to give me my arm back. I've got to kill this spider. Hang on. There we go. So, I'm sorry. Do we need to sit here now? Okay, hang on. Hang on a tick. Come here. Up we go. Here we go. Hey. How we doing? How's it going? I'm being attacked again. Do you want to play the game? You'll try and play. Okay. Hang on. Let me see if I'm going to play with just the keyboard. There we go. Just the keyboard. Do you want to press the button? You want to press number 3? Nope, you want to just cuddle up to me and fall asleep. That works too. That's fine. We don't mind that. Oh, no, you put your paw on my hand because you need my hand over here, do you? That was adorable. That was so cute. He just gently placed his paw on my hand. He's like, no, I need your hand now. I need your hand to lick. What's up? Hey, high five. No more high fives. Okay, it's bedtime now, is it? Go on then. There you go. You'll hear him cough occasionally. He has hay fever. So, unfortunately, this beautiful sunny weather does not agree with little cloudy Apollo. Okay, bye. There we go. Cool. He's gone now. This IRL macro seems inefficient. It's not all about the efficiency. Sometimes it's about sending a message. Josh, what's my favourite anime girl archetype? Tsundere, yandere, kudere. I think I just prefer 2D. It's just easier, you know. There's so many of them. They're all great. That's like asking what my favourite cake is. All of them. Depends what mood you're in. Do you want a tiramisu? Do you want a Victoria sponge? Do you want a triple chocolate? In the mood for a bit of a cheesecake? It depends. Gaming related. Okay, now you know it's serious. Do you think Sony and Rockstar's plans for their gaming portfolio and AAA gaming as a whole handle the inflation we've been having and survive the next console generation? Good question. I think the next console generation is going to be a remarkably interesting one because a lot of the previous consoles that existed were marked by generations because they were landmarks within the generational hardware updates. We went from 8-bit to 16-bit to 32-bit to 64-bit. With many consoles pushing into digital-only stuff, are we going to see generational leaps or jumps as strong as they were before? I think that instead of seeing generations of consoles as much, we are just going to see the next console that releases with a game exclusive to it that a previous console could have, in theory, still played, but they want to sell you the next big thing. What is the next thing that they're going to add in? Where's it going to? You will get console updates. Digital download updates, which will force your console to be whatever they need it to be right now. And I guarantee you, no matter what happens, no matter how advanced the technology gets, no matter how incredible AI or VR gets, no matter what happens, I can guarantee you one thing. They will not remaster Bloodborne. Won't happen. That, I think, is the biggest recession indicator. The moment that happens, I'm scrapping everything and just buying gold bullion and a bow and arrow. Soon as that happens, that's the symbol that everything's gone tits up. Like, the moment they re-release Bloodborne, guys, buy a bunker. Because Sony knows something you don't at that moment. Now, to answer the question genuinely... Genuinely? You know what? Fuck it. Let's just make words up. Why not? All words are made up somewhere. To answer the question genuinely, which is generally and genuinely, the gaming industry is, when you take those two words, focused on two things: gaming and industry. And I think when it started, it was very much focused on the first word. The gaming took priority. Now, however, I feel that the industry part has taken the focus away. The gaming industry is now about making as much profit as fast as it can. Because of that, leaps in technology are not done to produce the best games, they're done to produce the best products. And a game can be a fun game and a product at the same time, but I believe a good game is normally designed as a game first. The industry part comes second. How do you think the gaming industry is going and is changing? Anna's, I don't think. That's good. Try that every now and again. Sometimes I think that AAA games are becoming what most people think all gaming is. When actually there's a huge mix in the middle of A or AA games that are still just as fun. Not everything needs to be the next Marvel movie. Not everything needs to be the next massive AAA blockbuster success. But the people who are in the industry don't actually care about whether the game is good or fun or even has a cultural impact. They care that it is the next smash hit success and their name is on the roster that made it so they can get paid a lot of money. That's what it is. A lot of the people that are responsible for making the games, or at least funding the games that you like, couldn't actually give less of a shit about gaming. As far as they care, it's a business, it's numbers, it's analytics. It doesn't matter whether it's gaming or sports or betting or retail or food or hospitality or travel or transport. It is, at the end of the day, to them, a career. And it's a career that they simply want to make the most amount of money of, and on a level, that's fine. But it does unfortunately mean that we are in a situation where everyone needs everything to be the biggest thing. Sometimes you can make a small, fun game and everyone likes it, like Vampire Survivors. Are you still playing like 6 characters? Hell yeah! Just shifting as and when I feel like it, you know? AAA games is a pretty story that plays like it's on rails. Oh, like, what is it that Yahtzee calls them? Yahtzee calls them ghost train rides. If you've ever been on a ghost train ride in real life, you'll know that you sit in the train, you go through the on-rails story, there are moments that are meant to be scary, but you know that you're going to be okay in the end, and then the ghost train ride ends. And the experience was fine, but you knew that it was going to be fine. One of my arguments against always having AAA games is this. Every single person has a video game from their childhood that they absolutely love, that they are convinced nobody else ever played and they will never find it again, but when they do find it again, they are so happy to realize there actually is a community of people that play it. And that game is almost never a AAA game. Everyone has that game that they remember, and when you talk about it, their face just lights up and they're like, oh my god, when I was a kid I played this. Doesn't matter what console it was on, whether it was PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Dreamcast, anything it could be. GameCube, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, whatever it was. Everyone has a game that they just have an incredible memory of playing. And it's almost never a AAA game. Like Ogre Battle or Ogre Tactics Battle on the SNES. Pirates Online, yours was a game on Facebook, that's fine. Ninja Gaiden for the 360. These are just fun games that people enjoyed playing and had a good time with. Okami, yeah, those kind of things. And there's nothing wrong with these games. If anything, they are the ones that make us so happy. They give us great memories. Ogre Battles, yes. The Getaway on the PlayStation 2. Felony 1179 on the PlayStation 1. Shadow Man. Akuji the Heartless. All these things. ActRaiser on the SNES. There's like a lot of variety going on around here. Bubsy 3D. Shadow Man was good. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, I think, became quite famous. Skate wasn't. You know what? If we're going to go for a sports game that didn't become too famous, Downhill Domination. That was a BMX game for the PlayStation 2 that I had. That was great. I'd say that a game that became super famous within that niche would be SSX Tricky. I love SSX Tricky. It's brilliant. Yeah, Downhill Domination was great. If you've played it, you know what I'm on about. You know exactly how fun that game was. The Getaway on PS2 was good. I'm glad that people remembered that. So this is what always happens. I mean, think about it now. Imagine that we have this conversation in 20 years' time. And another streamer says, everyone has that game from their childhood they played that nobody else played. And everyone goes, Fortnite. Roblox. Mecha Chameleon. Skyrim. You know, instead what it will be is, it will be individual games within Roblox. That's what it will be. World of Warcraft Classic. 20 years ago it would have been World of Warcraft Classic, and 20 years from now it will be World of Warcraft Classic, and I think 20 years from then will probably be World of Warcraft Classic. Of course, real gamers know that it was what would happen during high school when you would go to the computer room or the library or the area that had computers and you worked out the sites that weren't yet blocked or banned. And you would play Grow Cube on 2 Flash games. That's where the real gamers were. Oh, Adventure Quest. I've got an Adventure Quest poster on the wall behind me. In fact, it was an Adventure Quest poster personally made for me by Adam Bonn of Artix, because I made the Adventure Quest video. He didn't tell me he was doing it, he sent it as a gift, which is incredibly kind. I'll share it on stream sometime. Fly for Fun or Flife? Oh, Flife is one of the most requested games that I constantly get to play. Josh, what level are you? I'm watching in 160p on my phone, I can't see. If you're watching on your phone to get the classic experience, you best be watching on a Motorola Razr. one of the pink ones. Right, the real ones, no. Oh my god, stop. Hang on, right, I've got an actual problem here. You got the rose gold Motorola Razr. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. High Class. Didn't realise the landed gentry were in. I'll give you 30 bucks if you watch the stream on a Nokia. I bet it could do it. I bet you could pull a Nokia out of a drawer right now and it would still have battery. You, my friend, may be blessed. Blessings upon thee, my child. Yep. Hi, I'd love to join the guild if possible. Yep, I will see what I can do to get people to the guild. I can't get you in right now because I haven't given myself inviting permissions. So, you've got to give me some time with this as well. But I'll see what I can do. We didn't have games blocked in school, so we play whatever we want. At some point we had a full lobby of something during classes. We had... I remember one of my friends bringing in a USB stick that had Halo multiplayer on it, but it only had the Blood Gulch map. Which was lucky, because that was the only map you needed. And he managed to install it on all of the school computers, and then we played Halo for a while. And then I think when the IT teacher, which used to be a thing, found out, they just kind of left it on because it was cool. Do you want to know a really interesting thing? There is actually a growing knowledge gap with the current generation where they actually understand computers less than millennials, which was my generation. And I think that's because the ability to interact with the innards of the computer is actually being removed from them. So, ooh, burnished shield. That's quite a good shield, I think. Okay, 428 armor, block, strength, and stamina. That's not a bad little shield. That's actually going to be quite a good shield until I get a decent one from a dungeon boss. Nice. So, back when there was like home PCs, you know, Microsoft, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows Me for the real ones, Windows XP, which may just be the peak of operating systems. You could go into the internals of the systems and just kind of mess around. You could do quite a lot of stuff. Windows Me was great. I will not hit any slander for Windows Me. Vista was good too. But now, you can't do that with Apple products as easily. And you can't do it with actually quite a few Windows products anymore. Which means that millennials were raised in a generation where tinkering with the innards of your PC was kind of expected. Running in administrator mode was fine. Port forwarding, if you needed to play Command & Conquer with someone, was fine as well. There was a lot of minutiae that you could tinker with. It was almost like how old cars allowed you to open up the engines and just mess around with them on the inside. That was a really important thing to do. But a lot of modern systems, modern computers, modern phones, they have all of that locked down. You know, you can't go into the operating system. You can't look under the hood. You can't change around all the factors. Which means that kids nowadays, I'm sounding like a boomer now, kids nowadays are really good at using apps and not that good at using the system on the computer that the apps are built with. I think that's a fair way of saying it. That's a fair kind of look into it, if you will. They're amazing at navigating the apps that are on the screens, on the systems. Kind of like how phones are too. Yeah, absolutely. And it's like that by design. And I think what this has led to, and again, you can correct me if you think I'm wrong on this, because we were talking about education yesterday. I think there is a reduction over time in people's ability to take initiative and solve a problem. Like, if you put a problem in front of someone who is used to solving problems, they'll just try and use what they know to solve it. They'll be like, okay, this is clearly not working, let's just tinker around for a bit, let's mess with it, let's open some stuff up, let's see what happens, let's solve this problem. You put that same situation in front of someone who is just not very curious or who hasn't ever been given the ability to tinker with things, and they just kind of look at you in this helpless way. Like, what do I do? How do I fix this? I don't know how to... Am I allowed to open this up? Am I allowed to fix this? We end up in a system where We have removed the ability to play with the innards of systems, which means we have a lot of people who don't understand that accessing those innards is part of the solution of a problem. I understand that, yeah, LimeWire was bad, but I think the ability to know how to fix your computer is only gained by, at one point in time, giving your computer super aids. Super digital aids. The purple monkey was important. The woman walking along the bottom of my screen was important. I needed 17 toolbars and taskbars in order to send you an e-greetings card. It was very important that I was able to do this. It was part of my digital life. Bonsai Buddy mattered. Why? And you know what? I still sometimes see adverts like this when I'm scrolling Twitter, which is the website formerly known as Twitter. And I'll be scrolling down through and there'll be an advert and it'll be like, if you own a mouse, you have to play this game. I'm like, first of all, you don't know me. Alright, you have no idea what I do or don't have to do. And it's just like a helicopter hovering in the advert. And it's always, if you own a mouse, you have to do this. What are you on about? Okay, I'm being wrecked by these ogres, but I think I can beat them. Hi Josh, I miss WoW. Is the official server worth it? Probably. Go for it. I mean, I enjoy it. I'm having a good time. I'm having a great time. Yeah, how does owning a mouse correlate to playing a game? Look, if you own a mouse, the only game that you need to play is Roller Coaster Tycoon. Everything else, honestly, optional. Purely optional. Roller Coaster Tycoon, pretty much essential. We can all agree on that, at least. Did Josh hit max level on his old warrior? No, I got to level 64, I think, and then stopped. I am doing pretty good with these ogres right now. I'm level 19, they're level 19. This is a good balance. This is a good balance of grind. I could probably hit level 20. I want to do the dead mines because I do indeed yearn for the dead mines. However, I don't want to do the dead mines until I can guarantee that I've got all the toolkit required to actually survive the dead mines. Oh god, yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon was the best thing that a cereal box ever gave me. Without a doubt. That or the Fisher-Price painting style pirate game. That was fun as well. Josh, without nostalgia as a factor, what would I say is the best console generation? PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 just for its sheer library of games, for being one of the very first systems that had consistent online play in some of the Phantasy Star games. That may have been Dreamcast, actually. Dreamcast or GameCube had some of the first online stuff, but PlayStation 2. PS2 over SNES, yes. The Super Nintendo Entertainment System was, of course, a fantastic system. It did a lot of good stuff, but I think the PlayStation 2 was where we saw some of the biggest jumps in games. It's where we saw some of the best narrative games and storytelling in Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3. It's where we saw some of the best beat-em-ups in Tekken Tag Tournament. It's where we saw some of the best racing games. It's where we saw some of the most interesting first-person shooter games in Time Splitters and Time Splitters 2. I think that the PlayStation 2 was a... If I had to introduce someone to the concept of video games and I only had one console to do it, it would be the PlayStation 2. I would take the PlayStation 2 and say, you are going to find so many different gaming experiences on this system. Now, I'm not saying other systems don't have that. Xbox 360 was fantastic as well. The GameCube had some good stuff. Even the Game Boy had some good stuff. The PS1 had so many good JRPGs. That was true. But also remember that the PlayStation 2, and this was a big factor in its selling, was backward compatible with almost every single PlayStation 1 game. You put a PS1 game into PS2, it worked. That's why it was so weird to me that the backward compatibility discussion had to happen with new consoles. People were like, oh, but can the PlayStation 3 play PS2 games? And my brain was like, well, Why can't it? Why shouldn't it be able to? Of course it can. PlayStation 2 did it with PlayStation 1. Surely we should be able to do it. Turns out, no, that wasn't a thing that could happen with every generation because of the architecture of the system. But in my mind, the PS2, first of all, it played PlayStation 1 games. Also, one of the most important advantages, people don't realize this, the PlayStation 2 played DVDs, which means that there was a period of time where the PlayStation 2 was the cheapest way to get a DVD player. Some people would buy the PS2 just to play DVDs, the same way that people bought the PS3 just to play Blu-rays. Most people still use a PlayStation or an Xbox simply to be able to play, whatever DVDs or Blu-rays that they've got. You had a PS2 and you had no idea, PS2 was absolutely great. Also, I didn't know this, when you boot the PlayStation 2 up, it's got those blue loading tower bars where the camera almost flies in and you've got the blue bars. They are related to how many games you have on your memory card. The more games you've played and the more saves you have, the more blue bars will appear as it flies in. That's super cool. Love that. Yeah, you can go and check. Just so much cool stuff like that. You thought you got ripped off with FF10 because it was one DVD instead of the 3 discs. No, I get that. Did I ever play Wild Arms? I did not, but I do understand that. I hope you have the self-reflection to realise that someone older than you and I can have the same thoughts about X and how we have it easy because they lack Y skill unlike them. And then there's someone older than them who thinks yes, and so on and so on and so on. Some skills disappear because they're no longer needed, and that's a good thing. Yes, that is very true. Some specific skills do disappear. Like, it's probably not as important to understand how to fix a rotary phone because rotary phones aren't as important. But instead of seeing specific skills disappear and be replaced by specific skills that are needed, I think what we're seeing is the disappearance of the ability to solve problems, the disappearance of critical thinking, the disappearance of the understanding of your ability to engage with a system and understand the concept and the parts of that system. Now, of course, there are many things that we just don't need to do anymore. But what we do need is to give people the ability to approach a problem. And I think we're seeing that with a lot of people simply saying, AI can fix it, there are going to be a huge amount of people that feel they never need to learn how to fix problems, because every problem they come up against will be fixed for them. Or they'll simply be able to ask a question and see how it gets fixed instead of discovering it for themselves. I know that every generation thinks that every generation that comes after them is the worst generation. I get that. Yeah. It's always, everyone thinks the kids are lazy. But I think we're almost seeing in real time an increase in a reliance on systems to solve problems instead of a reliance on understanding how to solve problems. Do I have suggestions on how to approach problem fixing from your personal experience? First of all, it's okay to fail. That's absolutely fine. If anything, if you attempt to do something and you fail at it, great. You now know what doesn't work, which is just as important as knowing what does. Failure within a controlled, safe environment is a vital part of any process. People forget this. It saddens me that people think that failing is a negative thing that needs to be avoided. It absolutely is not. It's a very important thing that you're able to keep doing. When people take the piss out of safe space. People say, you just want a safe space. You just want a safe space. Actually, safe spaces are vital because what you want to do within them is attempt and know that failure isn't going to be punished. That's what a safe space should be. It should be a place that you are able to push yourself beyond your comfortable limits and know that failure is not going to incur any permanent problems. Failing in an actual high-stakes, important, dangerous, potentially deadly situation, that's bad. We don't want to do that, which is why it's very important that there are places where you are allowed to fail. That's why we put people in situations when training where they can fail comfortably. They can fail safely and understand why. So I would say if you think that you want to get better at solving problems, first of all, well done for wanting to do that. It's a really important thing to want to be able to do. Find a situation where you can fail and it be okay. And some parents don't allow failures, and these are, I'm just going to say this straight up, this is going to sound horrible, they are not great parents. If your parents make you feel bad for failing, then they're basically saying that you need to be perfect first time. And you know what the best way to be perfect first time is? Never attempt anything. Because then you never fail. The failure rate becomes 0. If you are raised to minimize failures, you will very quickly realize the best way to do that is to also minimize attempts. There was an old experiment where they gave an AI the game of Tetris and basically said maximize your score. And it realized that the best way to do this was just before it lost, pause the game. Just don't do anything else. Now what it should have done was lose the game and then try again. Lose that game, try again, lose that game, try again. Eventually the score creeps higher and higher and higher. But at the exact moment when it said your job is to maximize the score, the best thing to do at that moment was to pause the game, because then it never lost. So it was technically doing something that was, achieving its goal, but it wasn't bettering itself while doing that. So I think if you want to learn and get good at something, be willing to fail. And be willing to go and put yourself into a position where failure is not only, encouraged, it's safe to be able to do. Best way to do it. I have failed more times than I can possibly remember at so many different things. That's totally fine. Yeah, failing is what makes you grow. There was that old poster that used to be in every school with FAIL, first attempt in learning, that kind of stuff. But I think many people, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, or even speak up if you're one of these people in the chat, I think there are many people right now who have been raised to believe that failure is the worst thing that you could possibly experience, and because of this, they're scared to even try at things. The people that have been raised to believe that failure is bad are the exact people that will not attempt something because they're scared of doing bad things. The people that are raised to believe that failure is totally okay are the people that will end up doing something absolutely incredible. Like, sometimes when I was on Facebook many years ago, there would pop up a video of one of my friends teaching their kids how to ride a bike. And the kid would fall off the bike, and the first thing they would do is stand up, dust themselves off, look to their parents, they'd both smile, they'd be like, come on man, you can do it, get back up, this is really good. Then they get back on the bike and they do it again, and I'd be like, yes, that's great, that's working. The kid wasn't afraid of failure, they knew this was part of the process. That is some good parenting right there. It's why if we do a dungeon in Warcraft, as long as everyone is actually trying their best, I do not care if we don't achieve it. I do care if people are deliberately pissing around. Like, if you're actively trying to fail, that's different. But if you're trying to succeed and fail, that's fine. Not wearing a waistcoat because it is way too warm for that. That's why there is no waistcoat. It is crazy hot today in the UK. And it's killed a brute. There's only one brute that spawns over here, though, so it takes a while. Oh, God, no, we were talking about the No Child Left Behind policy yesterday, and I think it's terrible because it encourages the entire education system to move at the speed of the slowest. We were speaking about that at length, actually. I believe the No Child Left Behind policy has failed because it has punished greatness. It has encouraged everyone to be taught at the speed of the absolute slowest person, and while I still think that the slowest person in any class does require a level of support and does require a level of education, we should absolutely not leave people behind. The idea of no child left behind is fine, but the process of slowing down the people who are capable of excellence in order to only focus on the people who aren't means you end up raising an entire generation of people who have not been given the tools they need to be excellent. There's my controversial opinion. Moving at the speed of the slowest person punishes the fastest people. Ideally, we don't want to punish anyone. We want to give people the tools and the ability, the opportunity, to be the best versions of themselves. What we don't want to do is put all the resources into the people who need the most resources and therefore remove every possible resource from the people who could have achieved more. In a class of 30 people, that's an impossible task. Yes, I know. I was a teacher for a long time. I have lots of problems with the education system. Putting 30 people together and telling the teacher to teach all of them but only move at the speed of the child who is getting it the slowest is effectively teaching everyone at that speed. Oh, we could talk about education reform all day, but it would also be interesting for me to hear from anyone who is currently in the education system. Oh yeah, special ed classes are important. Inclusion without support is abuse. We want to be able to include everyone, but we also want to be able to support everyone. You're doing one at the cost of another, then you're not helping as many people as you possibly could be. You have 2 streamers on Twitch live. One says I'm not addicted, I'm consistent. Other says I'm addicted, can't stop. Hey, I'm not addicted, I'm consistent. That's the important thing. You gotta remember that. You always dominate your 7-year-old at video games so he gets better. I mean, you've got to let them win every now and again. That's... Dogs play fighting with their own puppies understand the value of letting the puppies win every now and again, otherwise they just get super depressed. A one-way war doesn't teach anyone anything. Chaos Man says, inside you are 2 streamers. I can see you've gone to some conventions. You're an education trainer, and that's the thing, the world doesn't work that way. If you're slow in this environment, you get removed instead of supported. In theory, everyone should have absolute support all the time. Like, in theory, that's great. What slows that down is money and reality. And people get emotional. People get upset that I'm not saying, look, everyone needs 100% support all the time. I am saying that. I'm just saying it's not possible to do. Supporting people is remarkably important. But if we all live in magical Christmas land where money is unlimited and teachers get paid a really fair wage and every student pays attention, yeah, cool, maybe we could have a fantastic education system. We don't live in that. We live in a system where many people in class just piss around and don't pay attention, teachers are woefully underpaid, and parents aren't really helping out. Yeah, it's a job. The company removes those who don't show enough promise. That could be it. And again, schools are also incentivized to pass people as fast as they possibly can and push the problem down the road because some schools are funded by the amount of students they pass. If a school boasts a 100% pass rate, the first question is, should it? Because no school wants to say 50% pass rate. But what that would mean is that they're passing people who can definitely achieve. Okay, this thing has nearly killed me. God damn, that took way more of my health than I thought it would do. Hey Josh, you can use 0 to interrupt. Do you mean the refreshing spring water? Or blessing of might? That can't interrupt. Educational reform is a complicated topic and everyone knows exactly what to do. Like, anyone will always say, oh, all you've got to do is this. It's very simple. We also have to, unfortunately, face the fact that we are dealing with people who are incentivized in order to keep it incredibly expensive. A lot of people have a lot of money wrapped up in this. I still need to find... what is it? 2 more brutes. I don't like being in this cave. Not joining the group. I'm going to complete this. I'm going to do what I can. Oh, I can hand that quest in, to be fair. Bingles. There are 2 more brutes over there that I could find. Almost time for EverQuest Legends. Any plans on doing Dead Mines? Yes. When I hit level 20 and get Consecrate, I'll see what I can do. I appreciate the invite to the group, but I want to see what I can do. Just send the children to the mines. I'm getting that way. I'm getting to that point. How does my new schedule fit in with my findings from streaming every day? It's not worth streaming every day for the financial burden of it, but it is worth doing because I find it fun and I enjoy playing the game and I like talking to you guys. So I wanted to find a way that I could balance all those things. A way that I could balance playing the game, enjoying it, staying up to date with you guys having a chat with me, keeping the union together, and at the same time being able to still make YouTube videos. So the way that I'm doing it now, I'm able to put a decent amount of time into making YouTube videos, I can put a decent amount of time into streaming, I can walk the dogs, I can hit the gym, I can eat healthy, I can paint some Warhammer, I can go and see some friends. This is the best way that gives me the most amount of time per day to split my focus and my attention in a sustainable way. It's the best way to do it. So it's hardcore. Emotionally, yes. Mechanically, no. I'll tell you what, I do miss doing dungeons because the experience rate in dungeons is so much faster. We are vicariously having a wonderful time, and our day joy is impacted positively by being here. Yes, Inju loves being here. Not going to take weekends off. No, I'll probably stream for 4 hours on the weekends as well. The plan is 4 hours every day, from 6 PM until 12. No, sorry, 6 till 10. That's 4 hours. I've also put in the Discord a link that shows what that time would be in your local time. 6 PM UK time until 10 PM UK time. But if I'm streaming every day, I will have to play a game that I can stream every day, which is why World of Warcraft works really well. Because as I said yesterday, and it's going to sound horrible, World of Warcraft is not a difficult game. This is a remarkably simple game. Okay, people will tell me how complicated it is, how powerful it is, how the rotations are. Right-click. Occasionally make sure that I've got my seal of righteousness up. Occasionally press another button. But it is mostly just right-click. I'm sure that it gets complicated. But right now it is not. If you want to absolutely push it to its maximum, then yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of complexity here. Do I think younger people, 15 to 20 these days, are less read in any forms, whether classic literature or modern? And if so, do you think that's an extension from the education problem? I think if we go off just the sheer amount of words, then people nowadays are far more read. I've probably read multiple novels worth of Reddit comments. I've probably read multiple scripts worth of stupid post on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter. Do I think that those words have the quality that an edited, refined book would have? No, nowhere near. I think people nowadays have probably read far more words, as in simply, consumed them, than people a couple of hundred years ago would have ever been exposed to. But the quality of those may not be as high. People used to say to me, oh, no one reads anymore. And I thought, I've just finished reading a 7-paragraph breakdown of Morrowind. That's got to be worth something. People have probably read more in video games than they used to read in books. People have probably read a hell of a lot of comics and graphic novels, which still have words in them. Absolutely, that's a great way of putting it, Bucket. People probably eat far more white bread today than they ate before, but it doesn't mean that the bread is as nutritious. It's about finding that balance. People have this idea that reading the classics will also help them understand either themselves or, literacy in general, or understand humanity. It will if you interrogate it and understand it. That's something I've tried to explain to people. Just reading a book doesn't necessarily give you all of the message of that book. Understanding something is part of the complexity as well. Because most people, provided you are able to read, would be able to pick up the novel War and Peace and give it a read. But just because you consume the words... In fact, this is something that I have seen happen a lot. This is something that I saw happen before I left education, and if there are any teachers in the chat, let me know now. Reading does not just mean physically looking at the word, saying the word out loud, or understanding the word. Reading can sometimes mean working out the connection and the correlation between one word and the next in order to form an image or a sentence or an idea or a connected thing. There are many people who are able to read, as in they can look at the images of letters and work out that they make words, but they're not actually able to process those words together. They're not able to connect them or work out what the connected words mean, the context or the content. Like I've met people who are able to read paragraphs physically, but they're not able to understand the paragraph they've just read correlates to the paragraph they're about to read, and together they make a point. Comprehension. That's what it is. And that's what I think is slightly lower. Yeah, just reading books and enjoying them is the start. You need to get more out of it eventually if you want to interrogate what the book's message is trying to be. But I also don't want to make people feel bad for reading books that are just fun, because one of my favourite things to do is read fun books. I absolutely love choose-your-own-adventure books. I think they're fantastic. Are they the most complicated books to read? No, of course they aren't. Nowhere near. But they're fun. And sometimes reading can be fun. That's okay. I've met people that almost take the piss out of people that read fun things. Except for Death Trap Dungeon, which objectively isn't fun. What do I like to read beside novels? So, I spend a lot of time reading all of the fluff within any of the Warhammer 40k books. I've got most of the Horus Heresy series, the 1 to 100 hardbacks they printed. I spend a lot of time reading philosophy books or psychology stuff. There's always whatever. I think that you can learn a lot as well from what many people would consider bad writing. You can learn what not to do. You can learn what people think is weak. I still need to kill brutes. Can't find the brutes anywhere. People almost have this, if you don't read the most highbrow intellectual books all the time, you are a lowly peon. I'm like, no, just read something funny, read something silly. That's fine. Anything I like to read, fantasy stories, I'll take. Webcomics, silly little sci-fi stories and jokes. I love the Judge Dredd case files. I think they're fantastic. Next, the speed reading community, where reading suddenly becomes a race to be the best. You know how we were talking about the fact that e-games, in my opinion, ruined one aspect of video games, where suddenly everything about the gaming space became competitive. And even if a game wasn't an e-game or an e-sport, it suddenly got approached as if it needed to be. People are competitive readers. People have this idea where you are better than someone else by being able to read words faster than them. No. Not a thing. You want to read slowly? Totally fine. You go for that. You read slowly. That's okay. You've only fully read Lord of the Rings, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and Dune. I preferred The Hobbit over Lord of the Rings as a book experience. I thought it was more fun. The Lord of the Rings is a heavy book. Let's be fair. And then insufferable people will always go, well, what do you think about the Children of Hurin? No one read the Children of Hurin. People buy it, they put it on their shelf, and then they talk about it. Nobody read it. The Hobbit was great. It's a brilliant book, fun adventure, great fantasy story. Everyone had a good time. The what, exactly? The Hobbit was whimsical as a book. It was just fun. Like, if you want to go on an adventure, The Hobbits are great. What do I mean by heavy? I mean that there's a huge amount of information contained within the book that is given to you as context for the setting and not necessarily progression of the story, the adventure, or the narrative. There's a lot of information that's given to you that is meant to transport you into the world in a mental way, as opposed to showing you the experience that happens to the characters within the world. A lot of it, I mean, you'll be talking about them walking across a mountain and then suddenly there'll be 3 pages dedicated to the history of the mountain. And I'm like, this is great if I was reading a history book or a guidebook. There's a lot of songs, there's a lot of language, there's a lot of forefathers, there's a lot of this person came before this person and this person is related to this person did this person in the war. And I'm like, just kind of want to get back to the dwarves. That was fun. And that's fine. If you like that, that's absolutely fine. But there is a lot of stuff in the Lord of the Rings books that is extremely fun for people that really enjoy the lore, but not necessarily as fun for the people that want to just go on the adventure. I might die here, unless I drink that clutch potion really quickly. Right, the brute is dead. There we go, that's fine. I just had to kill the brute. That's all I had to do. Now I can resurrect, and then I can level up. Not a problem. Resurrect me and level me up. I'll take the damage. If only I had a lay on hands. Alas, I do not. What do I think of people who say you haven't experienced something if you don't enjoy it as much as they do? I think they're insufferable and should go outside more. I think they're not actually enjoying something, they're looking for your misery. I think some people validate themselves by pulling others down. There are many people who are insecure. They're insecure and they're insufferable. And one thing they will do is validate their own life by making sure that their life is better than yours. And they do it by effectively measuring everything they've done against what you've done. People have come up to me and said, well, technically you haven't actually played World of Warcraft because you weren't there in 2004 when the game first released. And my first thought is, you're a deeply unhappy person.
What can I do for you?
If that's what people need in order to make themselves feel happy, that's fine. I can, give them that. I'm pretty confident in who I am, in what I've got, and what I've done. That's fine. Not too bothered about that. I'm going to hand this question over here. Some people talk to you as if everything is a competition, and if you don't measure up to them, they win. And by winning, it makes them happy. It's the problem with the whole mogging thing as well. This person mogged that person. It's turning human connection in... This is why I dislike it. I have no problem with men bettering themselves. I'm all for that, 100% support, go for it, be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Unfortunately, when you turn bettering yourself into a competition with everyone that you ever interact with, that's not bettering yourself. That's just competing. You don't need to turn every single interaction with another human being into a measured competition. You don't need to judge who won by standing next to each other. Major, that is a beautiful way of putting it. There is a difference between bettering yourself and trying to be better than everyone else. Oh, people do it with everything. People do it with absolutely everything. People have this idea of they must work out where you and them sit on the ranking. People like placing themselves into a hierarchy. And if you've got the ability just to say, okay, they hate that. Have I tried the Pathfinder? I've got the books, but I haven't tried them yet. They're on the list. You feel like these days almost everything is weighed against opportunity cost, unable to enjoy things. We spoke about this yesterday with hobbies. You don't need to turn your hobby into your hustle. They're projecting a defense, and they need to, yes, immediately neutralize the threat to their personality. Also, we have to admit, and this is going to sound really reductive, some people are just really bad at human interaction. Like, some people are just not good at talking to people. They're not good at social connection. And they try and do social connection by turning the connection into a competition because that's what they understand. Yeah, it's a very easy, reductive way to put it, but some people are just really bad at talking to other people. Sometimes it's on purpose, sometimes it's not on purpose, but I've met people who turn everything into a competition, and when you pull them aside and be like, hey, just so you know, you don't need to have, like, a defense for everything we say. We're not attacking you. They almost say to you, oh, thank you for telling me, I appreciate that, I didn't realize I was doing that. Some people are appreciative when you point out, hey, you don't need to do all of this. I'm going to run this way around the lock. Because I think this gets me to Old Sooty's head. Let's go and kill that. I mean, yeah, you've got to have... Oh, thank you for reminding me of my defense aura. I've still got 5 minutes worth of resurrection sickness. This is a real problem. Oh, no. Hang on. Stunned. Yes! Paladin toolkit coming in clutch. Maybe I should just cross the water again. That'll work. But there's an old saying, never attribute to malice what could be achieved by incompetence. Some people aren't trying to be mean to you, they're just bad at stuff. Goth, welcome in. Lovely to have you back. Thank you for the raid, that's very kind of you. I mean, I realise there's quite a... So, in my attempt to run away from crocodiles, I have, unfortunately, discovered a lot of crocodiles. However, I have bubbled, and I have laid on hands. Remember, if you're being chased by crocodiles, bubble and touch yourself, and you will be safe. You would have thought this game is summonable boats of some point, yeah? Hi Josh, what is your method for voice notes? I use a Chromebook laptop, and I use the built-in Google Documents voice to text. You should have said, see you later, alligator. That wouldn't have been completely correct, because I will actually see them in a while, which means they are actually officially crocodiles. The window has just blown open with a gust of wind, which means I now need to close this. God damn it. Hang on. Gotta do admin. Ah, son. Debuff. That's enough of that. Goodness gracious me. Almost got some vitamin D going on there. God damn. Not happy with that at all. I know, outside. God damn, graphics are not as good. It is very pay to win. So, I want to go... Just go to the wetlands. Right, we're on our way to the wetlands. Or, as they call it when I'm there, the lands. Vitamin D is bad for gamers. It absolutely does. It reduces our DPS. Studies have been done. You mean to say the ghost lands? It could work. If we find a ghost in the wetlands, then we've got our answer at that point. How goes the Dead Mines preparation? I have got like 7 more bars on the XP bar to fill up before we get there, and then I'll be happy. And in theory, I could just keep grinding the enemies here, but I think it's time to go to the next area. If people can be insufferable, what are sufferable people like? They're the people you like. And which expansion is this? This is the Burning Crusade Anniversary server. Yeah, I don't need vitamin D. I just need vitamin DPS. Thank you for letting me steal that joke from the chat. I appreciate you. What were we complaining about 5 minutes ago before the sun got annoying? How hot is it in a UK room when you have the sun? Aren't your homes built to keep heat in? So this room, this office room, got up to 35 degrees consistently. And because the PC being on, I've seen the PC CPU temperature hit about 45 degrees and then the room sits at 45 degrees. No aircon, no. On average, this house sits around 29 to 31 degrees-ish. Some of the warm rooms can sit 35. The cooler rooms, the bedroom is about 26 degrees overnight. And that's hot. That's horrible. That's just what the average kind of is. I need to report to Mountaineer Rockgar, who is there. Have I gone past Mountaineer Rockgar? God, that sounds miserable. Yeah, that's just life in the UK in general. No window to open. There's no wind. It's as warm outside. Even if you do open the window, it's just muggy. Flies just come in. I've just passed him. God damn it. Okay, let me go and find him. What would be the solution? Installing aircon, although it's not really a very popular UK thing. Complaining, which is a very British thing, or just waiting for winter. Winter, these houses are great. Like, it's super warm, you don't need to spend much on heating at all. In winter, when it's raining or when it's snowing, British houses are top-notch because they retain so much heat. In summer, they also retain so much heat. Have you ever cooked something in your oven and then closed the oven door, and then when you open your oven door an hour later, it's still hot because the oven's just really good at retaining heat? Okay? That's a British house. That's how they work. Why is AC so frowned upon in the UK? So, two reasons. One, it was never needed because the UK never had a climate that actually needed it. And two, most British houses are built of double-layered brick. And double-layered brick is a tad more difficult to install air conditioning into. I think this sends me over to... I suppose there's stuff over there I can go to now. Yeah, Dunmorrow. So double-layered brick or breeze block is a little bit tougher to cut into. A lot of American houses are built with timber frames, whereas houses in Europe are very, very sturdy. They're much thicker. They're designed to stand for a hell of a long time, and installing aircon into that is just not something that was done as a building standard. Yeah, breeze blocks. Breeze blocks are, if you Google breeze blocks, they are large grey blocks that British houses are built of. So a normal British house will be built with a regular foundation, and then the breeze blocks will be built up as where the rooms are and where the house is, and then a layer of bricks will be put on either the inside or the outside, sometimes both, of the house. Drilling the hole for an AC in a double-walled stone house took 15 minutes. Excellent shot. You can come and do it to all of the other houses. If I give a general example, someone will always follow up with a specific that doesn't apply to it. I will say, in general, British houses don't have air conditioning, and someone will chime in with, well, mine does. Okay, cool, but like, in general, they don't. Window units can be a good workaround. They absolutely can. But in general, British houses are not built with them because it's never been the country or the climate to have them, and building regulations are very slow to change. So whenever new build houses are made, installing aircon in them is not something that's ever at the top of anyone's list of things to do. Like, we'll complain about it in summer, and then it'll get to winter and nobody will get it installed. I mean, electricity's not super cheap here either. It's just never been a thing that was, hugely important. Why not buy a portable air conditioner? I have. I'm not running it right now because it's very noisy. But yeah, popped over to Costco, got myself portable AC, stuck the tube thing out the window, ran that, cooled the room down brilliantly. That was lovely. It was great. So I've got quite a few of those done. Portable ACs are very inefficient. Yeah, but it's better than not having that. If the choice is sit in a 25-degree room overnight or cool it down to a nice, 18, 19 degrees, I'll go with that. But because British houses are built of brick and breeze block and are so solid, they simply soak up heat from the outside and the heat just stays in the brick for a long time. You know how if it's really sunny, then like asphalt on the road will get really hot and retain the heat all day? Imagine living in something built of that. That's pretty much what you're doing. 25 degrees is warm in England, yes. Different people are going to be accustomed to different specific, things, but in general, 25 degrees, I would say, is quite warm. Yeah, if you're used to like 16 or 17, then 25 is going to feel a bit toasty. Let me go and unlock the flight path in... That's Menethil Harbour. You know what? Let's try and kill a level 21 enemy. Let's see how well this goes. Can I do it? Because this might get me some serious experience if I can. I mean, I like winter, personally. I'm a winter guy. Love me some winter stuff. Oh, if I press P and open my spell book, I can then go to Holy and I can cast Purify on myself, which will get rid of this poison. Check me out. There we go. Could probably put Purify on my bar, actually. In fact, yeah, I will. I probably don't need the Ratcatcher's Flute anymore. Purify can go on the bar. One of the important things as well that people forget with the UK is the humidity. It is super damp. Like, I've had a dehumidifier running in the living room all day, and at the end of the day, that thing will be full. Like, it is a damp, humid climate that we've got. There's no way to get around it. Like, the UK is a wet place. You always get that thing. I love this. Every single year, we see the same pattern play out on social media. Every year, the Brits will complain about how horrible summer is. Every year, the Americans will say, that's not even hot. Can't believe you've not got air conditioning. It's this temperature in Phoenix right now. What are you complaining about? And then a few days later, there'll be videos of Americans coming over to the UK apologizing because they finally understand, they finally get it, because they don't understand how important the humidity is to making the heat feel awful. That is the same cycle every year. The Brits complain about being warm. Everyone else says the Brits are complaining about nothing because it's warmer where they are. Then those people come over to the UK and realize, actually, it's awful. Josh, have I checked Look Outside? I haven't. I've watched Go Outside. And I've watched Look Around You. What humidity percent do you have? Right now my living room is 55% humidity. That's just the general humidity with no changes made to it. That's what the machine is telling me. It says 55. Phoenix has 60% and you're dying. It's horrible, isn't it? It's absolutely horrible. That's what makes it so annoying. That's what makes it so bad. Nope, that's just cope for the UK. Most people in the East Coast understand what humidity is and the UK is not hot. There we go. There's the American that comes along with the actually you're wrong attitude. You know how we spoke earlier about how some people have to put other people's down to validate themselves because they're deeply unhappy? Welcome, Fozbear. I hope things get better for you. If you wait long enough, an American will tell you you're wrong. It's a guarantee. It's part of life. Give it enough time, and an American will come and tell you why your opinion on your situation is incorrect. Hey, that's just how we roll. Yeah, none of the world cares. Okay, you've managed to alienate everyone else. Just go and be warm and wet by yourself. The US is best at a lot of things. They are the fastest failing country in the West. No, it's fine. We like some Americans. Some people bring joy when they arrive, others when they leave. So everyone has a purpose. We're not going to take the piss out of the Americans. They're good enough doing that to themselves. That's fine. Look, people are great and people are awful everywhere. No one has a monopoly on good or bad people. But I do think that Americans sometimes forget how insufferable they can come across. Because in England, you don't want to boast too much and you don't want to just immediately start a conversation by telling people they're wrong. If you do that, you'll come across as a bit of a dick. In America, par for the course. Most important thing you do. Instantly get involved. You get in there and you make this about you. That is the American way. Because if it isn't about them, then it might be about somebody else, and that's just not right. Isn't this a little stereotypical? Yes. Yeah, if you want completely different stereotypes, this is probably not the best stream for you. The problem is that I can't both be really funny and really super serious all the time. Sometimes you've got to get a bit unhinged with it. Sometimes you've got to take a little bit of liberty with it, you know? Lunara, I would agree. Sorry, Lenora, I would agree with what you just said, but I think that's a general toxic male trait that you see everywhere. Some people priding themselves on how much of a dickhead they can be. We all know some guy that just prides himself on being described as an arsehole. It reeks of insecurity. You will never meet a more insecure man than someone who tells you how much of an arsehole he is. Proud of it. They love it. They're like, yeah, well, I'm just, brutally honest. I'm like, no, you're just a dick. Honesty without tact is just cruelty. You need to have a level of tact, a level of understanding. You don't care about the honesty, you care about the brutality. That's what you've latched onto. You're literally just trying to antagonize people because you don't think you have any other part of your personality that's interesting enough to give you any kind of reason to be spoken to. You're trying to antagonize people and be an arsehole because that's the only way people give you attention that you are starved of. We've met many people like this. Everyone knows a man like this. You're 38 years old, you're an American, you've never met anyone who prides themselves on being a douchebag. That's an outsider's perspective. Okay. I mean, that's your anecdotal experience, which is fine. I've met many Americans who pride themselves on being a dickhead. I'm sure your experience is different to mine. I'm sure my experience is not representative of yours, and yours isn't representative of mine. It's a tad ironic that you're the American saying that I'm wrong, but there we go. There are many men from lots of cultures who seem to pride themselves on the fact that nobody likes them. Oh, you can find most arseholes by just looking on Twitch. It's like a narcissist dictionary. Who just blessed me? You are being made stronger. You're welcome. You used to be that kid that prided himself on being an ass. Hey, but you grew up, which is good. Some people get older, they just don't grow up. I'm sure you guys know exactly what I mean by that. They're alone because they're a one-man wolf pack. I never said you were wrong. I never said I met any. Stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. I've just never met someone like that. Okay. In that case, I apologize. I was too harsh to you there. I've unfortunately met quite a few of them, and most of them are content creators. I like how the quests lead you through the world. That's a really nice bit of design. Yeah, taking pride in being a dick in their defense is cheaper than having to run around with a huge neon sign saying insecure prick all the time. Oh, don't worry, they still have that sign. They just can't see it. You feel like the worst people you've ever met have all been influencers. Yeah, that seems fair. You're probably spot on with that. You do need a bit of an ego. Absolutely. You can't make it in the entertainment or the performance world unless you are your biggest cheerleader. You need to be your main supporter. You need to think you're amazing and brilliant and fantastic and better than everyone else. Now, I don't think that. I know that, which is the difference. Other people need to be humble. I am better at being humble than they are. They suck at it. I'm great at it. That's the difference. Right, I forgot how this castle is laid out, so I'm just going to accept all the quests. Then go and do whatever quests I can. I'm the most humble. Okay, I think we're done now. That's just the British in me. Yes, it is. Stereotypes are, of course, stereotypes for a reason, because people have pattern recognition. That's all it is. Stereotypes are just pattern recognition within specific instances of things happening again and again and again. Right, what are we doing now? Crocolisks, that's what we're trying to kill. Thank you, Shayland. Get buffed. Okay, so Crocolisk skins, level 22. Level 22. I mean, 22 might be a tad too difficult for me right now, but we'll give it a go. I don't know if I'll be able to actually kill any Crocolisks. Are people that are proudly being a dick and people that are proudly being an asshole attracted to each other? No, they both think the other person's insufferable, but they are great. Although sometimes the two worst people that you know do end up in a relationship together, and you know what? Great, they deserve each other. Did I play WoW for 100 days? I did. I mean, there were some other games in between those. I probably played WoW for about like 80 days. Who was it, Josh? Who hurt you? So many people. No, I'm pretty good. I'm doing fine now. Why aren't you raiding then? Because I'm currently level 19. And I don't think I would be an asset to my team if I did. Do I think there's a moment when you need to be a dick to someone, otherwise they won't get the point? Depends what information you're trying to get across to them, but yeah, there are definitely moments in life when you do need to give the energy that you are getting from someone. It all depends why you're talking to someone, what you're trying to get from that person, what you think that person is trying to get from you. Because being abrasive with someone, being blunt, being direct, it's a weapon in your arsenal. It's a tool in your toolkit. Sometimes you just need to do that. Thanks for the Was It Good series. You are welcome. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making them. Oh, the Hogger raid was funny. Yeah, that was fun. Sometimes people take being firm and being direct as being a dick. Oh yeah, absolutely. And it also depends on who you're talking to and why you're talking to them and how they see you. Here's a really big one. Have you ever met someone that says, if you don't respect me, I won't respect you? I have a bit of a problem with that phrase, not because of the general concept and the idea behind it. I very much agree with the idea behind it. I normally have a problem with the people who say it. And my problem is this. People can see the word respect to mean two different things. Some people see it as treating someone as an authority, as a boss, as someone above them. They respect, and therefore the person is greater than. And some people see the word respect meaning basic human dignity. on the same level as the bare minimum that you need to give someone. And when someone says, if you don't respect me, I won't respect you, what they so often mean is, if you don't treat me as an authority, I won't treat you with the bare minimum level of human decency. They're using the word respect to mean both of those things, but the respect you have to give them is different to the respect they have to give you. That's something I've always found is a bit of a problem. And I think it's normally said by people who are quite insecure. Respect means compliance. It does. And there's an old saying as well about people who are in these positions of power. If you are used to privilege, then equality can feel like, what's the word afterwards? Oppression. That's what it is. If you have become used to existing in a level of privilege, then if someone treats you as an equal, you can feel like you're being oppressed by them. Don't think I need to go that way yet. I need to find some more crocolisks wherever they are. So what we can end up with is very interesting situations where, oh goodness me, the ooze, they're quite powerful, aren't they? Ah, you're level 24. I don't want to kill you. You're too powerful. I want to kill the slightly smaller ones. And this all links back to the general people who like pride themselves on being, you know, an arsehole. They see that as a level of power. They think being an arsehole is synonymous with being a powerful person. And I think the most confident people you will meet actually spend a lot of their time trying to make other people feel comfortable and seen and validated and happy and, you know, respected, I suppose is the word we would go for. The most confident people you meet have absolutely no problem dispensing compliments and diverting praise to the people who need it or have earned it. Okay, Sil, hello, I need someone with brains to listen to. Well, that might not be me, but there's 1,000 people in this chat. We can probably find somebody. Did 1,000 hours of beta testing for a dev team. My God, I hope you were paid well. Provided pages worth of a book of feedback. Devs screwed everyone. Game became superficial slop, and beta testers got banned when we pointed out the lines, bad practices, or the hypocrisy. And the game sold because casuals buy anything. I'm getting burned out over being passionate. Okay, so your job was not to make a good game. Your job was to identify the pain points that would prevent the game from being sold. And you did that. The developers were probably absolutely perfectly aware of what was or was not working within that game. That was not a shock to them. But yeah, people will buy anything, and the games industry is itself an industry. If you're a beta tester, why do you care so much about whether the game does or doesn't succeed? Your job is to give them feedback and then move on. And I know that you're going to get emotionally attached to it. Unfortunately, don't. I mean, if you played something for 1,000 hours and they didn't take the feedback, is the game selling? Because the point of the game is to be a product and sell. Would I say the same to an artist who worked on the game? I would say whatever the person is working on the game is doing has a purpose within the team. And then the team's purpose and the team's goal needs to align. If your job is to make as much money as possible, then any decision that leads into that is going to be the right decision. If your job is to make the game last as long as possible and to be the best possible game it could be to the player base, then we have to reassess some of the decisions we start to make. I will support the devs and the artists as much as I possibly can, but what I don't want to do is feed into this beautiful starving artist notion that success is bad. Learn from what you've done, work out what you can do better, take the knowledge that you've now got, apply it to somewhere else. Apply it to somewhere else. Also, try not to get emotionally attached to the job, because I guarantee you will get canned eventually. It sucks to say, but do your best to not get emotionally attached to something that you do not have a level of power or a stake in. Bubble and heal. Any plans for non-WoW content on streams? Not yet. I'm sure I'll get there eventually, but right now I'm just enjoying playing WoW because it is nice and easy for me. I'm sorry that your job and the beta testing didn't lead to what you thought it would lead to. And I'm sorry that you got the short end of the stick on that one. Unfortunately, a job will drop you the moment it knows it can make more money by doing that. The games industry is brutal. Absolutely brutal. Guild Wars 3 when it comes out? Yeah, probably. Why WoW and not Final Fantasy XIV? I like them both and I'll play them both. I think the WoW players got slightly less annoyed at me playing the game wrong than the FF14 players did. Like, there is a level of playing the game wrong that's accepted here. I tried the Gothic remake, not yet. I feel that if I play FF14 and don't go and get my job stone, they might hunt me down and kill me. I was enjoying playing the Archer. I might just start a new character and play the Archer again. Just to keep playing it. Okay, why are there no more... Okay, there's way more Crocolisk stuff over here. I'm going to go this way and see if I can find some Crocolisks. You haven't seen anyone in chat insult you during the WoW stream. Give it time. The Americans are just waking up. The PvP players aren't here yet. They're all still at school. It's literally midday in America. America's a big place. It's going to be different times in East and West Coast. Josh, if you were given the option to voice any character in the Final Fantasy series, be it a remake or a movie, which character would you choose? I would voice Ben Starr. Not Clive. I would voice Ben Starr. He can do Clive. But if there's a version of the game where you get to watch like the director's commentary where he talks about the character, I'll voice that. Hey Josh, missed your streams. Well, thank you very much. They're about to come back with a vengeance. Every day, 4 till 6. Do a Verso impression. It would sound just like a Clive impression. There is another young, wet crocodile. Let's go for it. Sorry, 6 till 10. That's the one. We will go 6 till 10. 4 till 6, it's on the screen right now. 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. UK time. Whatever that is for you in local time, don't know. Is there a reason you're coming back to streaming? Yeah, I like streaming and I like playing World of Warcraft. Is that like the Mael impression sounding like the Shadowheart impression? Yes. Felt like you hated it in the video. Then you need to understand that there are subtle emotions that exist between love and hate. You can enjoy the positives of something while still being aware of the negatives of it. You can embrace the negatives of it while still understanding that the positives do give you some joy in it. There are many spots between love and hate, and most of what I'm doing exists within those spots between love and hate. If you thought that I hated streaming in the video, then I don't think you understood what the video was really about. There was no level of hate. Do I have any food? Yes, I do. There we go. There's a level of nuance to it. I can enjoy the sharing of video games, which are my passion and my love, and I can dislike the terminally online attitude of people where if I don't feel the same way that they feel about a game, they need to personally insult me or let me know that I'm wrong. Like, I can enjoy the connection that it gives me with people, and I can also be slightly worried about the amount of people who found a level of parasocial negativity within it. Yeah, like, you talk shit about games that you care about. Games that you don't care about, you don't talk about at all. When I took a break from streaming, did I play WoW off stream? Very briefly. Not for very long at all. Mostly played old school RuneScape. Is this another 100-day challenge for you? No. How long will I keep the schedule? As long as I can. Don't know exactly how long, but I'll just kind of keep going with it as long as it remains fun. I want to be able to make YouTube videos. I want to be able to walk the dogs. I want to be able to have nice, healthy food. And I want to be able to stream consistently without taking up too much of my time. And I think 4 hours a day is about the limit that I can do with that. Do I have any plans to play Alan Wake 2? I do. It's on the list. I need to get some more Remedy games played. I actually went to play Control 2. I was invited to the London Control 2 premiere, and I played the first level and the first boss of that game, and that was brilliant. So, and come to fun events. Yes. Yes, the point of having this schedule is to allow myself to be free for more events. Control 2 was great. Really enjoyed it. That was a fun time. I think I can sell some stuff to this goblin. Right, I can. That's the best shield. Stamina, spirit, stamina and strength. So I can sell the shields apart from that one. Okay, Red Ridge Goulash. That's what I needed from the Red Ridge quests. Might be worth going back to do that actually, because I feel like I'm a tad under-leveled for this bit. I do feel a little bit under-leveled where I am right now. I think Red Ridge is probably the place that I want to be going to. Yeah, because I'm killing enemies that are like level 22 and 23, and if I were a DPS, that would be super easy. But as a tank, trying to kill enemies that are higher level than you is possible. It just takes a really long time. Will I play single-player story games on stream, or do I prefer games that don't demand too much of my time? When I'm streaming, I prefer to be able to dedicate as much of my attention as possible to the audience, to you guys. And the easiest way for me to do that is to play games that do not require a huge amount of my attention or input or focus. And World of Warcraft is one of those. I like playing single-player story games, but it has to change my streaming style substantially to be able to do them. So if I... yeah, it's one of those things where if I play a single-player story game, I don't give a huge amount of the audience what they're actually here for, which is my attention. When am I joining level 70 raids? Let's one step at a time, alright? Let's finish the Dead Mines first. When will I... We're here for the yap, not the content. You say that, friend, and then when I play a single-player story game, people leave. Because I can't yap as much. So I have to be very, very careful what I am and am not playing. You can try it, and if it doesn't work out, go back to WoW. Dev, that sounds great. Unfortunately, trying it means risking a huge amount of audience loss for a small amount of time. Now, doing daily streams, I'm in a position where I can probably try it much more. So we'll see how well we go. Maximum yap potential with the Paladin. I'm hoping that when I tank, I can still yap. And we'll only know when I try. So when we get to level 20, which is where you unlock Consecrate Ground, that's when I go and try and do dungeons. No tank in the history of WoW has ever paid attention to the game. Perfect. Absolutely. That'll suit me to the ground. Do you want a larger audience for these streams or a dedicated if smaller following? More people means more money, but still. You say that, Kiv. More people doesn't always mean more money. More people willing to pay means more money. If I could take 10,000 people that didn't pay anything at all, or 1,000 people that were all subscribed, I'll go for the 1,000. And as long as I can provide a level of, entertainment to those people, even better. We'll go with that. Now, normally, more people does just mean more money because of, well, sheer numbers. And what you can then do is you can go to sponsors and you can say, hey, I'm getting this many people on average on a Twitch stream that I can hold for this amount of time. You should pay me more money. And they'll pay money to, 10,000, 15,000. But here's a really important thing. I've got to be careful what I say here. It is my belief, in a non-legally binding way, that there are very few streamers who are reaching over 5,000 people without botting. Some people have said to me, oh, you should watch this stream, they've got 10,000 people, and then chat just does not move. And I'm thinking, there is no way that you have got 10,000 engaged, interesting, active human viewers. And then sometimes I'll watch streams that have, 200 or 300 viewers, and chat is just flying by, because everyone's chatting, which is great. So, as much as I would love to look up and see that viewer number, say 10,000, that's not the main reason. What I would rather do is look up and see people actually enjoying the stream. I don't really care how many people there are doing it. I have streamed for enough hours that I can supplement the income via YouTube. We've got enough people that subscribe. All the content I make is free. I survive. We've got the GamerSup sponsorship, which is great. I've got a decent amount of relationships with Good Old Games that sometimes do affiliate links. I've taken some sponsorship with some companies. I get paid for some of the live work. I'm doing fine. So, as long as you guys are happy with it, I would rather an audience of people that genuinely like what I do. That's it. Sometimes chats per stream does matter. And we did that thing a while ago where I just said to everyone, just type a message in the screen right now and we'll just send that to any kind of, well, about to die. Hang on. Hell yeah, there we go. This thing might kill me. Yep. Well, we had a good run. God damn it. He didn't even help me. Didn't even help me. It's such a horde thing to do. Oh, hang on, I'll just resurrect and do death runs until I get to where I need to get to. It's fine. My understanding is that more chat interactions boost the chance of the stream being recommended and being on the front page. The front page is a cruel and fickle mistress that none of us truly understand. The thing is, I think that advertisers are starting to get wise to it, because you have to remember that advertisers and marketing kind of campaigns are often relying on streamers just telling them the truth, which is not something that always happens. So you get this marketing company and they see a streamer has 10,000 consistent viewers and they think, oh my god, this is amazing. And then they sponsor that streamer loads of money. I mean, you look at the big streamers and they have made hundreds of thousands per sponsorship. Sometimes they've made millions. It's absolutely ridiculous what they can do. We're about to die again. But it's okay, we'll get there. But then those marketing campaigns, they don't see what they would expect as a return on investment, because they didn't realize a lot of those views are sometimes botted. Some of those views are people in countries or demographics that their product can't reach or doesn't appeal to. So sheer numbers just don't have the power they thought they would have. And then those marketing campaigns and marketing companies are super nervous to work with streamers again because they've been burned in the past. I mean, I've spoken to marketers and I've spoken to conventions and I've said, hey, would you like me to guest at your convention? Do you want to do a campaign with me? And they've said to me, look, Josh, I'll be real with you. We ran a campaign with a massive streamer, with a massive content creator, big influencer. And we gave them a booth, we gave them a signing box, we gave them a meet and greet. No one turned up. Absolutely no one. And these were people pulling 10 to 12,000 views per stream. They had a meet and greet at a big convention and literally no one came to meet or greet them. And that was when the convention realized that a lot of those numbers were either inflated or they were being generated by viewers that were not able to spend any actual money on products. The bots didn't even show up, man. The bots didn't show up. So yeah, when I've said to people, join me at your convention, they're like, look, we spent, £10,000 getting this big content creator down for a day. We gave them their travel, gave them their transport, put them up in a hotel, fed them, paid them a day rate. No one turned up. So yeah. It could have been that it was kids that were their main audience. It could have been bots. It could have been people from different countries. There's lots of reasons. But ultimately what it resulted in is conventions and marketing agencies are now slightly more apprehensive than they were before to work with content creators going off numbers alone. Instead, they have to go off active, engaged audience. I tell this to people all the time, whenever I'm talking to YouTubers or game developers or marketers. Subscribers on YouTube does not necessarily matter. Active, engaged audience does. The subscriber count should simply be seen as the amount of people who, at one point, enjoyed this person's content. The active, engaged viewers from the last couple of videos should be taken as the number of people who currently enjoy this person's content. You may have seen YouTube channels that have 10 million subscribers and they put out a video and it gets 10,000 views. This means that at some point 10 million people have, over time, liked this person's videos. But only 10,000 people like them right now. It's the best way of putting it. I mean, people always say, oh, you fell off whenever you get lower views than you have subscribers. I don't think that's true. I think that's a tad insulting to say that they fell off, because when you see 10 million subscribers, it doesn't mean that you appealed to 10 million people at the same time. It means that you have, over time, discovered 10 million people that like your content. They may have liked one video. Clicking that subscribe button basically means, I like the content right now, I'd like to watch more right now. And then if you go back and look at a YouTuber's actual views on their videos, that's the amount of people that are watching the video right now. I mean, I put out the The Was It Good Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, that's got nearly 500,000 views. That's incredible. That's a phenomenal amount of views for a video. 500,000 people around the world liking what I create, that's huge. And I'm very proud of that. And some people said, you know, your views are lower than your subscribers. Yeah, because subscribers don't really mean that much. This is the amount of people that have discovered me and liked me at one point in time. This is the amount of people that like me now. Most people don't unsubscribe from channels. Most people click subscribe on a YouTube channel because they found a video they like, they sub to it. And then if they don't like it, very few people go through and clear up the amount of channels they have subs to. Also, my videos are very bingeable. I know that. That's what people do. They binge through them. You may like someone's gaming content and then they start having unsolicited political opinions. Absolutely. And sometimes people, whenever they find a level of success, do the whole Baader Meinhof thing of thinking that because they're good at one thing, their knowledge applies to everything else. I am pretty good at analyzing and breaking down games and systems within games. I'm probably not very good at having nuanced political opinions because I'm simply not schooled in that area. I don't understand that much about it. Like, I'll say what I think and what I feel, but I'll never tell you what you should do. Lots of gaming YouTubers will up and change their primary game. That's true. That's a very important thing. If you, and this is another risk for a YouTuber, if you tie yourself as a content creator to a game, you actually tie the success of your channel to the success of that game. And if the game fails, your channel fails as well, because there won't be enough people who are around to continue watching it. People ask me why. I mean, I lose viewers when I stream something other than World of Warcraft. Now, it's lucky that I like WoW and I like talking to you guys while I play it, but there are a lot of people out there who want content on one game. That's it. I mean, can you guys think of any YouTube channels or Twitch streamers that you have watched that have changed their content so substantially that you can no longer watch them? Maybe they have increased their viewership by switching. Maybe they have decreased their viewership because they wanted to switch. Maybe they have become a different person than the person you first discovered. I mean, sometimes you get content creators who grow and change with their audience. You know, the audience discovers them when they're like 12-year-old kids, and then as the audience grows and matures, the content grows and matures with them. Some content creators have been able to do that. Unfortunately, there are many people, many content creators who they are discovered by 12-year-old kids. The 12-year-old kids subscribe to the channel because that's the content they want. The audience then ages out of that demographic, but the content creator does not age out of that demographic and continues making content for that kind of viewer. Unfortunately, the kind of tweenagers and teenagers of now want different content to the tweenagers of 10 years ago. So you're not going to be appealing to the same amount of viewers as you were before. Some of them remain through the years. Some of them stay strong. Some of them change their content. Kadikarus is a great example of someone changing content and actually finding who they were. Kadikarus is a good friend, and I've spoken to him at length about this, and he used to do like almost daily videos of video game reviews. He would do 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week. He was putting content out just so much, and he was burning himself out, and he was finding success and finding an audience, but he just couldn't keep up with it. And it wasn't bringing joy to continue making content at that rate. So he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a silly, weird, random, esoteric, almost experimental style comedy video, avant-garde. And he made that video and it did really, really well. And that has now become his style. You watch a Kadikarus video, you kind of know what you're going to get based on his last 6 videos. But that, I think, Kadikarus is a great example of a content creator almost maturing, I use the word quite ironically with that, into the content that defines him, that makes him happy as well. He is an amazing content creator. He really is. He's a very talented man. He's a very nice guy as well. A very, very nice guy. I've got his plushie in the corner of the room. You know when Caligras brought out the, I think it's like the robe style plushie? You can unzip it and it becomes a robe and it's like a little him. Yeah, I've got that. As soon as he released it, I bought it. The same thing, the last thing I ordered was the Zenny plush from Makeship. I'm excited. I hope that passes. I really do. Because that looks like a super cool plush and I'm excited to get that. Welcome in, Bam. How you doing, man? We're talking about people changing. Talking about life, the universe, and everything in between. But content creators change with time. Some of them grow, some mature, some don't. Some become the people they're meant to be, some regress, some surprise you in a positive way, and some don't. But the most important thing I think a content creator can do, especially for longevity and safety within this rather kind of turbulent career, is just be genuine. I know that sounds really cheesy, but the audience can tell when you don't like what you do. And the audience can tell when you're forcing it, and the audience can tell when you're trying to play a character, and the audience can tell when you're not being genuine. Now, I say that. A smart audience can tell. Kids can't. You get a lot of content creators who are trying to appeal to kids, and they're trying to be dramatic, and they're trying to scream, and they're trying to shout, and they're trying to be insufferable. And they're trying to be prank bros or whatever they're going for. Kids can't tell. But I think when you get a slightly more, not necessarily mature, but a slightly more discerning audience, that's when you can tell, yeah, this person's real. I get it. And that's why you can sometimes be in situations where you might not like the content creator, but you can at least tell they are being genuine with you. Yeah, you're talking genuine audiences. Yeah, of course. But it's very easy to make content for... I say very easy. It's still challenging, of course. Content creation is a job. But it's easier to make content for people that are not as discerning with that content. As in, they don't really care whether it's good. They just care that it's loud. And it's over the top, and it's dramatic, and it's reactionary. You can make content for people that want the most base form of content. It's loud, it's annoying, it's irritating, and that's kind of by design. Because these viewers want to watch people be loud and be annoying and be irritating. Have any of you guys seen... They released this on Twitter recently. The opening for the spin-off of The Big Bang Theory. I think it's called Stuart Fails to Save the Universe. Don't use Twitter, so no. Good. You find it on YouTube. The opening to the spin-off, Stuart Fails to Save the Universe, is basically entirely AI. I hate it. I think it sucks. I think it looks awful. That's what people want. You often forget, guys, you're not the norm. Okay? You are not the average. Go and watch the opening to Stuart Fails to Save the Universe, and you tell me if you think it looks good. I think it looks absolutely atrociously soulless. I mean, yeah, nuisance streamers are not a new thing. They are, however, a much more popular thing. It's very easy to be a nuisance. It's very hard to be supportive and funny. How are we not the norm? Because you're using Twitch. The vast amount of people, the majority of people, don't even know what Twitch is. I don't hate AI because of what it produces. I hate AI because of the way it gets to producing it. It removes the human element from what's meant to be a uniquely human experience. Will I try EverQuest Legends? You are like the 500th person to ask that. The answer is maybe. Josh, do you think you'll start to lose viewers if you were balding? I think if people are only going to watch me because I have hair, then I'm not losing a particularly valuable viewer if I start balding, but of course physical attraction is a part of a viewing experience. People can watch or not watch me for whatever reason they want. If people say, hey Josh, you've started losing your hair, I'm not going to watch you, if that does happen in the future, I don't know, go for it. I'll just roll into the Captain Picard look. I mean, yeah, oh god, yeah, when the chest hair goes, I know you're all going to leave. That's fine. Totally okay with that. Chest hair goes, you can all leave. At that point, it's a VTuber. It's the only way I'm coming back from that. I know that's what you're all here for. Haven't shaved the chest hair, don't you worry. Oh god, Inju, yeah, I've explained this to people before. The reason people dislike The Big Bang Theory is because it used to be about celebrating nerd culture, and now it's about mocking nerd culture. Celebrating is when you understand the subculture that you are making content about, and you are making it in a loving way. But I believe that they are not making celebratory content about nerd culture. They are using nerd culture as the framework to build a joke around, where the punchline is, look at how stupid nerd culture is. That's why I don't like The Big Bang Theory. I don't think that it's badly acted. I don't think that it's necessarily badly lit or badly staged. I think that it's fundamentally constructed to make you laugh at the characters, not with the characters, and the characters are meant to represent a subculture of nerd and geek, and therefore you're laughing at the stupidity of the subculture, not at the stupidity of the unique events that happen within the subculture. Like, you can find a subculture and make good jokes within it, and a great example of this is the IT crowd. Like, the IT crowd is celebrating how absolutely awful working in IT is. Fiddle, thank you very much for all of the gifted subs. That is remarkably kind of you. We've got a golden Kappa train going on, so make sure you don't miss out the FOMO, guys. Give money to Twitch. Feed Big Daddy Bezos. Make sure you get your golden Kappa emote. None of those words are in the Bible. There are certain shows that love their source material, and you can tell that they are making jokes not at the source material's expense, but at the love of the absurdity of the situations within it. Like, a good example is, I think that the musical Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog is taking the piss out of a lot of the conventions that we see within musicals, but it's doing it in a way that clearly shows a great deal of love toward musicals. Like, we're not just saying, wow, look at how stupid this is. We're saying, hey, we love this. Let's find the most absurd things that we all know exist within it and have a good laugh at it together. That's pretty much what gets me about The Big Bang Theory. I don't think we're laughing at it together. I think we're laughing at the characters. The name of the musical, Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along Blog, with Neil Patrick Harris and Nathan Fillion and Felicia Day. Excellent show. Ams, my goodness, thank you very much. The 10 gifted ad blockers to the community. Get fed, Bezos. You have a strong dislike where the intention is to piss off a certain type of people or make a joke out of them. Yeah, no, I agree. I can't really get into it. Oh, hang on, I'm level 20 now, aren't I? I can get some new cool stuff. Right. I probably need to start speccing into protection, don't I? Increase the armor bonus of your devotion aura. Seal of Command. Okay, a chance to deal additional holy damage equal to 70% of normal weapon damage. Is Seal of Command better than Seal of Righteousness? Each attack does 24 additional holy damage, but my weapon itself does 35 to 51. Is it better? This is the Burning Crusade. Yes, with slow weapons. Oh, obviously, because you're then going to just do far more damage. RNG based, but bigger number. Oh, got the seals from you. Now we need some condor meat. Pursuit of Justice reduces the chance you'll be hit by spells by 1%. Interesting. Increase the chance to get a critical strike with a melee weapon, and gives the paladin damaging melee attacks. Reduce the target's attributes by 5% for 15 seconds. Vindication. Is that an ability? Command procs make you happier. Ah, okay. Not normally when you are tanking with one-handed shield. Oh, that's a good point, because you're not going to want... You're going to want fast attacks in order to stack up the smaller threat generation stuff. Because I'm going for tanking, aren't I? Okay. Pursuit makes you move faster. Really? Increases movement speed by 5%. That could be useful. Maybe I should start throwing some points into my protection skills soon, though. Or I can just purchase the second skill slot. Pursuit of Justice looks good. Let's buy that. Is that a skill I have to actually cast? Or is that just like a thing that's always there? Okay, it's just like a thing that's always there. I'll take that. Perfect. It's a passive. Thank you. Next question is... If I get a shield and a hammer, can I still tank even though I've not put many points into my actual protection tree? I guess I'm going to have to find out. It'll be rough. Okay. Maybe I'll get some armor first. Consecration does a lot of threat. Yes, I'm going to go and get Consecration, and then we'll try and tank. I might be bad at it. Like, I'm level 20. What level do you think we should start tanking the dead mines at? I'm thinking like 22, 23-ish. Some of you guys may have got a golden kappa, by the way. Well done if you have. I'm very proud of you. 20 is perfect. 22. Now, okay. What I do need to do is go and find the one-handed weapon that I intend to use and train the skill up a little bit, because currently I have like no skill in one-handed weapons at all. Pug or guildies though? I think guildies. I think we're going to have to go with guildies because I don't know if I'll be able to pull a pug through here. Because they'd get annoyed at the tank. I don't mind annoying guildies. Yeah, leveling my weapon skill is going to be important because currently I'm still just using a two-handed mace. The 5 points you put into any tree will not matter at this point. If you have Consecration, you can tank. Is Consecration a thing I have to go and buy, or is that something that I get from the skill tree? Guessing it's a thing I go and buy, isn't it? When Righteous Fury is active, which it should be. All damage taken is reduced and increase the amount of threat generated by your Righteous Fury spell by 16%. Which one was Righteous Fury? Have I got that? Oh, hang on. Increase the threat. That should probably be active. Stack holy spell damage. Yes, that is what I'm going to be doing ultimately, but I'm not there yet. Oh, apparently I've earned a hype chest. It's a golden kappa. I feel so accomplished. Are you all filled with a sense of pride and accomplishment? It's a holy talent, you say? Consecration is not a holy talent. I'm pretty sure it's a skill that you buy. We are playing the Burning Crusade. Oh, that's in Classic. Right, gotcha. So they updated it from one to the other. Have I been told it looked like a young Pierce Brosnan? I haven't. I've been told it looked like an old Pierce Brosnan. But thank you. That very much, that strokes the ego. That's a really good confidence boost right there. One of my favourite actors. So thank you. You can scroll in the skill tree. You can click this little bar and move it. That's very impressive. Go. Game design. Like a whelming Pierce Brosnan. Yeah, like if you threw Henry Cavill and Pierce Brosnan into a cloning machine and the machine wasn't very good. That's what you'd get. Like if you wanted to remake season 1 to 3 of Game of Thrones and you couldn't quite afford Richard Madden. Like a Temu clone. Do you think it's worth it to start playing the game for the first time? Yeah, go for it. What's the other answer going to be? No, you've lost your chance, you can never experience it. Just start. You'll find someone else that's just starting. Talk to people, have a good time with it, suck at it, get some good armor, get a bit better at it, play as long as you enjoy it. It's totally okay just to give it a go. See how it works. Join the guild, start having fun. You don't need to be good. I'm not. I've got to kill loads of Murlocs now. Probably going to be avoiding some of the Murlocs while that person takes the other ones. Your dad sucked at the game and now you do. It's a tradition. Warcraft is not a difficult game. People will tell you it is because they're trying to be the best at it, but it is really not difficult. It's not difficult to play football. It's difficult to be a professional football player, but to just play and have fun and enjoy and kick around with your mates, that's not hard. Look at Warcraft the same way. It's not difficult to be acceptably good at this game. Just don't try and be world class at it. Because you don't need to be. Josh, sorry for writing this trash. Think the word hate. Nice one, well done. You're living a happier and more fulfilled life. You came to realize there is a powerful emotion. It's used too loosely. I agree. People like to jump to the word hate whenever they find something they dislike. And by doing that, I think you're diluting the word down. If you find something that you just don't agree with and you say that you hate it, then you're placing everything that you hate on like the top pedestal of anger that it causes you. You can find more complicated words to describe the more complicated feelings, and I think it's a good thing when we do. Right, poachers are down here. Poachers are also up here. Exactly. What happens when you utterly despise something? Josh, were you ever fired because of something you did not like, such as budget cuts or something similar? Oh, goodness, you're making me think of all the jobs I've had now. I voluntarily asked to be demoted from a retail supervisor to just a retail shop floor worker because I didn't think the added stress and responsibility was worth the extra 15p an hour pay. I was a supervisor in a couple of retail stores, and eventually it was the assistant manager. The assistant manager said to me, do you want to be promoted to assistant manager along with me, and we can learn to assistant manage the store together? And I said, honestly, not really. You have so much more responsibility, and the compensation does not match. And I don't think that's a worthy trade-off. And they got kind of annoyed. And I remember they said to me, do you even want to be a supervisor? And I'm like, honestly, no. Because you're getting all the staff annoyed at me for any changes that you make. The customers are coming to me with problems that I don't have the authority to solve. And then I have to call you, and they do that sneering face where you fix their problem anyway, even if it's against policy, which is something I absolutely hate. So, no. If there is one thing that absolutely boils my blood, it's when a customer comes into a shop, they ask for a supervisor, they say, hey, can you fix this? And you say, unfortunately, no, I can't, it's not allowed. And they say, we'll call the manager, and the manager comes over and fixes it, and they do that face where they look at you like they won. They're like, I guess you couldn't fix it, but the manager could, because I'm special. And I'm sat there looking at my manager like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to play the bad guy every time so you can just waltz over and be the good guy and do the heroics and get all the love and admiration for fixing the problem? Because that means I'm feeling like a dick every time. But you just won't give me permission to fix the problem the way you do, even though I could absolutely do that. The manager will fix it because they don't want to deal with the complaining, but the manager won't come to fix it until I have spent at least an hour dealing with the complaining. I hate this. Either come and fix it immediately, or say no when you arrive. Don't make me go through the emotional turmoil of dealing with the complaining customer every time. People are the worst. And they anger me. And they should feel bad. Who do I think would win in a fight, Illidan or Wolverine? That's a good question. I've got a friend, he's a cosplayer, he's called Ixtran. He has cosplayed both of those people. I can just ask him to fight himself and let me know how that goes. Yeah, people are very self-entitled. I don't mind people being entitled as much. The irritating thing is that the managers make you go through being the first line of defense against the customer, and then you tell the customer news that they don't want to be told. And then the manager comes out and fixes everything. I have a lot of pent-up anger, clearly, about unfair retail working situations. And one thing that I used to hate was when, and I've worked in lots of environments, you'd get some staff members that would do like special deals for certain customers. And then the customer would come in and the staff member wouldn't be there. And they'd come to you and they'd be like, hey, this other person always gives them the special deal. And I'm like, well, I can't do that because I don't have the authorization to do that. And they'd be like, well, you've got to do it. Call the manager. And the manager would come down and say, okay, we'll give it you just this time. And then the customer would be really annoyed at you for not doing the special deal. And I'd have to go to the manager and be like, hey, maybe we could just ask the staff members to all follow the same rule sheet so we're all not putting each other in shitty situations like this where customers are expecting special treatment that we can't do. It also teaches people, and this is what I think I hate the most, it teaches people that if they complain enough, they get what they want. And that is not what we should be teaching people. Do we really want to teach people that if they just demand things go the way they want them to go, then they somehow magically do? And then we wonder why the customers are acting entitled. The worst part about any job is the customers. Anyone that's worked with the people will know this. Oh, God. I think everyone should be forced to work retail at least once in their life. Which version of WoW is this? This is the Burning Crusade Anniversary. We are your customers. I know you are, Rebel. Complaining versus fighting for your right. Now there is a subtlety to it. And whenever I have a complaint and need to work with someone, the most important thing I do is say to that person, I know this is not your fault. I have sometimes had to say to people, this is not your fault, but unfortunately right now it is your responsibility. And I need us to work together to be able to fix it. It's always you and me against the problem. It's never you against me. That's the important framing. It's never you against them. You're not enemies, you're allies. The enemy is the problem. That's the important thing to do. If someone is trying to help you fix a problem, it's very important and very healthy to recognize that they didn't cause the problem, but they can help you with it. Genuine advice is literally just to be like, I know this isn't your fault, but you are the person that can help me with this right now. Yeah, the kids' gloves. Yeah, it is. You do need to deal with the kids' gloves because you're dealing with adults that have emotions of children. Just because people get older doesn't mean they suddenly learn how to handle their emotions. There are many people who get older who still need to be dealt with the kid gloves, and you have to ask yourself occasionally, what outcome do you actually want? Do you want this person to feel bad? Do you want your ego to feel validated? Or do you want the problem to get solved? And sometimes when you want the problem to get solved, you need to deal with the kid gloves because that's the only way they know how. It sucks. It really does. It absolutely sucks because you're sat there thinking, I am treating this person like a child. But yes, you are, and you need to. Sometimes the most adult thing you can do is engage in whatever behavior you know you need to engage in to get the desired result in a polite and direct way for you and for everyone else. And sometimes that behavior is using the kid gloves on people you're dealing with because they are not as emotionally mature as you are. Do I own Skyrim Special Edition? I think I own all the Skyrim editions because Todd made me. Just follow company policy no matter what. If you follow company policy no matter what, you at least can't be punished. That's one of the good things for it. We're going to go and... You are indeed on Twitch. Well done, Boo. We're going to go and find whatever these Redbridge guys over here are. Leveling through just the open world instead of dungeons is actually quite nice. If what the customer's getting is not exactly spelled out, there will be something they didn't actually want. Yeah. If you make something idiot-proof, somebody will invent a better idiot. Doesn't that make it feel like it's patronizing? That's where the trick comes in. The trick is to talk to someone in a non-patronizing way that still gets you the result that you're looking for. It's difficult to do that. It's possible, but difficult. And some people respond differently to, different levels of input. So part of the skill of reading people is working out what this person you're talking to does or doesn't respond to well. Because some people respond really well to sarcasm. Some people don't. Some people respond well to being treated as if they're in charge and they're the boss. Some people respond well to being told exactly what's going to happen. The skill of reading people is about working out which that person is. I do know Sly Cooper, although I haven't played the games in a long time. It's been a hell of a while. Oh god, tech support. People think that tech support is just fixing a technical problem. It's not. It's working with a human being that has a technical problem, and normally figuring out the person is much more difficult than figuring out the tech problem. If I had a bakery, would I throw out a customer who is doing business with me in a disrespectful way? I don't have a bakery, but I would probably play it on a... You'd have to play it kind of by ear with that. Like if someone comes in and is a bit disrespectful, but they're buying £5 million worth of cakes, at that point I'm going to go, well, this person's definitely a dick, but it's also going to set me up for life. So am I willing to deal with a dickhead for lifetime financial security? Maybe. If someone comes in and they're insulting me and they're buying a cake, I'm like, I don't need that. You're going to steal 40 cakes. Game Wiz, 40 cakes. That's 2 20s. That's 4 10s. It's despicable, Lex. If I had a restaurant that sells soup, would I ban people for being rude? There would be no soup for them. Let me see if I can kill these guys. So dealing with people is often the worst part of any system that involves people in pretty much any way. But as a business, sometimes you do need to fire a customer. Sounds silly to say until you have to do it, and then you'll understand exactly what I mean. But a lot of business is dealing with people. And people, in general, are difficult to deal with. So, I mean, have you guys ever been in a situation where you've realized that a customer or someone that you're working with is being disrespectful, and you've done the maths in your head and you've worked out that you've only got to deal with them for X amount of time, therefore it's worth doing it because the reward is greater? And sometimes you don't want to work with people because you realize that they will make your life much harder in the long run, and it's not worth it. You know, that has happened too. And is also completely valid. Working in customer support, so yes, the last 10 years of your life. Oh, some people, man. Some people. Working at hospital reception and a panicked patient is really hard to handle. People hate the fact that in emergency situations, one of the most important things you need to do is stay calm. And the reason they hate this is because they think it means you don't care. What it actually means is you care enough to know that the outcome is going to be much more likely to be positive if everyone is calm. And sometimes being calm means going slow. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Situations where people are panicking and shouting and screaming and telling you what you do or don't need to hear or think, and you're there be like, nice and chill, nice and relaxed. And they think that you're like, you don't care, this is so heartless. I'm like, actually, this is the most important thing we could possibly do right now. It's vital that we stay as chilled as possible to make sure the outcome is positive. Used to work at Sears and the tools and lawns, and they suck when a customer will complain. Agree with them and start complaining about Sears with them. Oh yeah, so many people want to be validated. In fact, there's a great couple of YouTube videos by Jocko Willink when he talks about dealing with panicked people, dealing with angry people. Neither of these are good, so I'll just sell those. And he uses a technique called reflect and diminish, which is excellent, and I've always used the reflect and diminish whenever I've needed to. And that is, if someone comes to you with a problem, the first thing you want to do is match their energy and be on the same side as them with the problem. And the example he gives is if someone comes to you and says, supplies are late again. You know, the logistics people are awful. I can't believe this has happened. If you turn around straight away and say to that person, calm down, then what you've done is you've become their enemy as well. Like something has annoyed them, and you've straight away jumped on the side of the thing that's annoyed them, which means they are then going to immediately be annoyed at you as well. Even if they don't want to be, they will be. Have you ever complained about something that's happened during your day? Like something's gone wrong, someone's annoyed you, something somewhere has happened, and you've complained, and the person you've complained to, the first thing they do is take the other person's side. Well, have you thought about what was happening with them? Well, maybe they were going through this. Well, you don't know, maybe that was happening. And part of you thinks, yeah, they're probably right, I don't know. And the other part of you is just really annoyed that you told them a story where you were complaining, you were venting a little bit, and the first thing they did was defend the thing that annoyed you. Human beings are emotional creatures. No one is purely logical, and I can prove this because no one gets more emotional than people who say they're just logical when you point out that they're not. So, redirect and diminish. Someone comes to you with a problem. Oh my God, I can't believe logistics are late again. First of all, match them. Oh my God, yeah, logistics, man, these guys are awful. And then they're like, yeah, they really are awful. And you can say, okay, yeah, what are we going to do? And straight away what you've done is you've set themselves up as your ally against a shared enemy, and then you've diminished the focus, you've reduced it and redirected it away from being annoyed at the enemy toward what's the solution. And then suddenly you and them, you're allies. You're chilled out, you're relaxed, you're working on a problem together instead of being against each other. Human beings, man, we're emotional creatures. And learning how to talk to emotional people, super important. Someone comes to you and they're annoyed, they've got a problem, that's fine. Work out how we can reduce it. Work out how we can redirect it. What you don't want to do is make someone think that you are also against them. Because if the first thing you do, and this is also something that happens a lot, I know a lot of people that, look at me showing off. I know a lot of people, and the first thing they do when they hear a problem is they try to solve it. You ever done the same thing? I bet you have. You hear a problem and you start offering solutions. It's very important to ask people, do you want solutions or do you just want to talk about it? Because some people don't want solutions. Some people just want to vent. Sometimes it's just nice to have a little bitch about something that's bothering you to a friend or to someone that you trust. And you start bitching about something and it's cathartic and they turn around, they're like, so how do we fix this? And you're like, shut up, I don't want to fix it. I want to be annoyed for a minute. Then we'll fix it. I will fix it. When I'm ready. Just vibe with me for a minute. I'll take your advice in a minute. Right now, Just vibe. And then, when everyone's calmed down, they're like, right, now it's time for a solution. Now we can fix it. Together. Most people don't take ownership of a problem. They want someone to hold their hand. That's true, and you can hold their hand when they're ready for it. Just don't immediately jump on someone's... Defending what has annoyed someone. It's irritating. Just vibe. What does it mean? Different things to different people. But normally, just like, be with them and match the energy. Just hang out with them. Just be cool. Right, I'm going to go hammer some fish. I can solve the problem. I'm annoyed it exists. Yeah. And you will eventually solve it. But not immediately. There's going to be some energy first. Right, let's try and kill this murloc underwater before I drown. So sometimes I say to people, do you want to look for a solution together, or do you want to just vent about this? It's important to be what someone needs you to be at that time. And too many people are focusing on what they want to be instead of what the other person needs you to be. Did that murloc just swim into the ground? Did you just glitch out? God damn it, murloc. You're not allowed to do this. Right, toolbox is down there. Small indie company. Josh, the murloc did swim into the ground. Do you want to vent about it, or do you want us to fix it? I want to be angry about it now, and we'll fix it later. Were you not an EverQuest gamer? I have played EverQuest before. I have partaken in the EverQuest. But I wouldn't call myself an EverQuest gamer. Like, I wasn't super familiar with the game and its systems. Murlocs strike me as the kind of thing that would vent about a problem. Thing is, murlocs have like a really low drop rate of murloc fins. And spotted sunfish. So, we've got to get those next. Did you mention you were the third best crafter in RuneScape 25 years ago? You didn't, but my respect for you has doubled. FF11 has not been featured in the series yet, no. Are you consistently addicted? I don't like to phrase those words together in that way because it makes me... It forces me to acknowledge parts of my life that I don't want to force to acknowledge. But I would say that I'm definitely doing well. Murloc isn't a race you can play as yet, is it? Also, lots of people are killing murlocs around here. Like, it seems like a popular killing spot. God damn it, murloc. Don't you dare swim into the scenery. There we go. Fantastic. Murloc Scout next. Let's take you out. Bueno is the best UK chocolate bar. Opinions? That's not an opinion, that's a fact. This is the Burning Crusade anniversary. Which means we'll be getting the Wrath of the Lich King eventually. Next, was it good on Vampire the Masquerade? Nope, it will be on Dark Alliance 2. You worked at an addiction treatment center. You def need help, I can tell. I don't. I mean, I might need help as in help with the dead mines. We'll need a healer and 3 DPS. But apart from that, I'm good. Right, thanks for all the stuff, Oslo. Bueno is for kids. It's chocolate. It's sweet. It's for anyone that wants to eat it. Bueno can be for kids, but it can also be for anyone that fancies a bueno at any given time. There's nothing wrong with wanting a bueno. What would you consider chocolate for adults? Like, do you just chew the cocoa beans and snort the sugar? Do you not have dark chocolate in the UK? Yeah, it's not the Middle Ages. We've got stuff. There's a company over here called Montezuma's that does incredibly dark chocolate, which is really nice. Do you not have dark chocolate? No, we're still waiting for the shipment of cocoa beans to come in on the boat. Every day I do stand there waiting for my love to return on the large wooden vessel. And then the cart will trundle through the valleys as we bring the dairy milk to the children. Okay, this is a problem. Good thing I've got some potions. We must fend off the chocolate brigands who plague our lands. Oh, alas. If only we could build some giant cities. Kinder Bueno was great. Thoughts on 99% dark chocolate? I've eaten it before. It's fine. I don't mind it too much, but I would rather just have, like, a Whisper Gold. I'm not going to be out there performatively eating incredibly dark chocolate because it makes people think I'm cool. Just give me a bag of Magic Stars and let me hose the whole thing down. Just give me a bag of peanut M&Ms. Alright, and we're good to go. Magic Stars are great. They really are. The ones with sunglasses on taste the best. You like dark chocolate. It's bitter like your soul. I like regular chocolate. It's full of caramel like me. Is Milky Way American? No, we've got the Milky Way over in the UK. Again, Milky Way chocolate is great. Big fan. Dime bars are good. Dime bars haven't taken off in the UK as much because IKEA has pretty much got the monopoly on dime bars. IKEA's dime cake, though, is pretty good. Sometimes the IKEA does still sell some of the dime bars. Not all the time. That's important. But if you want to pick up a Kallax and then a Billy bookcase and a dime bar and then a bag of meatballs, that's where you go. You don't eat much chocolate, but you're a Skittles fiend. Skittles are great. Nothing wrong with some Skittles. This thing might kill me. Oh, went to 2% health. God damn, that was close. You know what? The Paladin has got some serious self-tanking, hasn't it? We are stanking with the best of them. And I've just realised how low the drop... This is why I stopped doing open world quests. The drop rate on them is dire. I'll get one more level and then I am going to do the Dead Mines. The Dead Mines will happen tomorrow. We're not being able to get it today. The P in Paladin stands for Patank. Yes, it does. I know you've all missed the Dead Mines. And I've missed daily streaming. I truly have. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to stream as much as I did last time. That was insane. But like, there's a level that we can get to that's fun. I also like the fact that the Hammer of Justice is an interrupt attack. Like that a lot. We're also up to nearly 1.6 gold. That's pretty good right there, guys. Why the heck do I look so sweaty? I'm sat in an incredibly warm room with no air conditioning. The still air. There's a fan behind me, but it's not doing too much. I've got the lights shining on my forehead. And this is very important, I rubbed bacon grease all over my face before I started streaming. Because I knew someone would say, wow, you look sweaty. And I wanted a reason for that. Maybe I'm turning into a ghost. Okay, these have like an 80% drop chance. They really should drop more stuff. Why specifically bacon grease? Because when you start to find success, you get a taste for the finer things in life. Bacon and brie is a top-tier sandwich filling. Add that with cranberry and you've basically got Christmas right there. Bacon, brie and cranberry on a panini. Lightly toasted. That's how you do it. I will not be taking questions at this time, but that is how you do it. Bacon, brie, cranberry, panini. I'm going to go and see if I can purchase some more spells. I'm level 20, so I should be able to. Half expected it to be gravy. No, gravy goes well with Yorkshire puddings, little mini sausages, and sage and onion stuffing. They say British food and British women were so good the British became the best sailors. That's quite funny. I've not heard that one. I'll take that. That's quite good. You've made an enemy for life. Right, fly me to Stormwind, please. I'm going to go and talk to my trainer. I laughed a little bit. That was quite funny. Is there a chance we'll see PvP gameplay in WoW? It's already in WoW, I just don't take part in it. I want to give other people a chance. I feel that I'd be too good at it. It would be unfair of me in order to take other people on in PvP. You know, you've got to know your limits. Especially as a paladin. It'd be too easy. I'd just, you know, bubble a lot. Too humble to make fools of the other PvPers, or pla-v-pla, as we call it. Now imagine you were a rogue. Done. I could do that. How noble. No, he's another streamer. Have I tried or am I willing to try Battlegrounds just to check it out and not miss out on the experience? I'll give it a go. Like, you know, I'll try anything once. Well, I'll try it 2 or 3 times to make sure it's definitely there. What was the expansion where warriors got a spell to break the paladin bubbles? What a horrible spell. Why would you give them that? Kron says, just popping by to say you're cool and do cool stuff. You don't know me. I'm lame. I feel that I should be able to buy some kind of helmet. I love the fact that the more you play, the more you get used to where your class trainers are. I like that a lot. There's a feeling of coming home. Oh, goodness me. It's been a long day. I've nearly finished the script for the next Was It Good video, which is Dark Alliance 2. It's going to be about an hour-and-a-half video. Pretty much the same as Dark Alliance 1. I go through the entire game and point out all the differences, all the similarities, and critique the new changes they've made, which is good. Oh, comparing me to Mandalore Gaming. Thank you very much. He's a great reviewer. Love his stuff. And you can ask a guy for directions. There's a lot of good design in this that I really do like. Are there any games I'm looking forward to this year? Not necessarily new games, but there are a couple of re-releases of old games that I am excited about. Go and speak to a guy in Ironforge. Can do. That's probably my class quest, I believe. Right, Paladin Trainer. You, talk to me. Consecration. Consecrate the land beneath the Paladin, doing 64 holy damage over 8 seconds. Sounds good. Exorcism causes high holy damage to an undead or demon target. Can't see myself doing that too much. Flash of light heals a friendly target. That all sounds a lot... That sounds like a lot of helpful. Let's not do that. Right, righteous defense. Come to the defense of a target. Yeah, that's going to be useful for me. Blessing of freedom, no. Ah, devotion aura. Gives way more armor. Currently 160, this is 275. Yes, let's go with that one. Because that affects me as well, which is the most important thing. Ah, retribution aura. Causes 5 holy damage to any creature that strikes a party member. Players, I'm not using that, so it's not worth it. Seal of the Crusader. Ah. I don't think I want the Seal of the Crusader, do I? You really want Blessing of Freedom. Immunity to movement impairing effects for 10 seconds. Players may only have 1 blessing at a time. Yeah, but it's expensive and I can't afford it right now. Retribution aura for Prot Pally is great, helps build threat. That's only when the enemy attack you though, isn't it? Because if the enemy attack you, the holy damage counts as building threat against you. Have I fallen in love with classic WoW? There's a mutual respect. That's when you have to use the P for protect. No, P is for spellbook. I can't afford many of these. So what I'll do is I'll purchase Blessing of Freedom. And then I'll just hope that everyone is nice to me. What I will also do is... Okay, so that's now 275 armor, which is great. And I've got some new abilities now. So Seal of Righteousness, rank 3. That's still rank 3. That's the best. What was new here? Holy Light, rank 3. That's rank 3. That's good. Consecration. Right, where am I going to put you? Consecration needs to go on this bar somewhere, and it's probably going to be the most used thing. So, like, I feel that it should go on... It's one of the important ones. Surely you can just spam Consecration. Okay, that's that one. So consecration for now can go there. I might change it around, don't worry. This game looks a lot like Runes of Magic, not really original. That's a weak attempt at rage bait. You can do better. Righteous defense might be needed. Righteous fury increases threat generated. That's already there. And Blessing of Might rank 2 is already there. Cool. Tomorrow streaming same time? Ideally, yes. I may be busy specifically tomorrow, but in general, we'll be going back to this kind of time. I will accept quests from you. One of these quests required me to go to Thingy. Dwarf place. So let's go there. Will I stream early on a Thursday because of Space Pirates? Don't know, haven't worked out how that's going to work yet. I tried to play Runes of Magic for a while, and you know what? I liked Runes of Magic. I had a lot of fun with it. It's not good, but I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it for what it was. Which was WoW, but free. It is We Have WoW at Home. Would I consider myself a full-time streamer or a part-time streamer? Probably part-time. Because I'm putting part-time hours into it. The Basin of Lothar in the starting zone of Rom and selling the card. Oh god, the cards from every enemy. Runes of Magic had really cool systems. I loved the card drops. So, in Runes of Magic, which was basically a clone of WoW, you had a collectible card binder, and every enemy in the game could drop its card. And when you found its card, you put it in your card binder, and it gave you a permanent passive buff. So, a boar in the forest would give you, like, plus 0.5 melee damage, which means it was great because if you were killing the same enemy again and again and again, there's always a chance you could get its card, which was super rare and super fun to see. There were some good systems in it. Also, in Runes of Magic, you could choose 2 classes and combine them together, which I think was great. Yeah, kind of like Guild Wars. There was lots of good stuff that it did. It had good choices and had good systems. Unfortunately, it was too derivative of WoW. It didn't take off the way it needed to, and it just didn't hit that snowball critical mass of players. Because people don't appreciate the fact that games do at some point just need to hit a critical mass to be good. I prefer clicking the spells in the spellbook. I actually prefer typing the entire spell name out. It was popular but didn't sustain itself, yeah. Sometimes we do just look at survivorship bias and say, well, it's got to be like this game because this game has lasted. Sometimes it lasted because people just liked it. You can also, as we've learned from Picard, make no mistakes and still lose. Sometimes you got to hit a critical mass of people. So one thing that I've spoken to a lot of people about, especially at the Develop conference I was at a few weeks ago, people have this thing where so many people, for some reason, I don't know why this is a thing, so many people want to create some kind of system that conglomerates all other systems. They'll be like, hey, it's like, if you play video games, you join my special social media that I'm creating, and it pairs you up with people who also play this game. And, you know, if you join this, you get this. And I'm building this system which is going to allow all the players of every type of game to find each other and do this. I spoke with like 10 people who were all building something similar to that. And they all asked me, do you think this would work? And my answer is, it will work if it gets a critical mass of people that is required to make it work. However, it will not get that. I think, yeah, Runes of Magic definitely changed hands too many times and became really pay to win. Like, as a game, it's fine, but it definitely changed hands way too much. Okay, I've got 23 silver and I require some kind of shield. No, I've got a shield. It's there. 428 armor, block, strength, stamina, all good. What I need is a one-handed weapon. A one-handed hammer, specifically. Because if it's not a hammer, what are we doing here? We can't be doing this without a hammer. You can tank dead mines with two-handed if you want easier for aggro generation. I might try that then for a bit, see what's going on. But what I might do is just check if there's any kind of helmet in a shop somewhere. Ever played Wildstar? Very briefly, a long time ago. Maybe we can get Cookie's rolling pin. Because Cookie's mystic wand is the... Cookie's stirring wand, whatever it's called, is the good wand for early casters. Please do the Pally quest. It's great and gives you one of the best Pally weapons. What is the Paladin quest? What's it called? Hang on. Which version of WoW is this? This is the Burning Crusade Anniversary. Go to the Royal Library in Stormwind and speak to Milton Sheaf. He can find you the book on metallurgy that Brother Christoph needs for his speech. I assume it's that one just there. Is it the one called Speaking of Fortitude? Wonder how many more times you'll answer this question. Hundreds. Who is the Burning Crusader? He's the paladin that spent time with a few too many Draenei women. Good, Dev. That's the point. So what's the name of the Paladin quest? Test of Righteousness. And where is Test of Righteousness found? I assume it's found in... because I don't have any of these. Just going through and having a look at the quests I've got here. Yep, if it's found in Ironforge, I'll wait for this and go back to it. It has a pre-quest. What's the pre-quest? Hello, Natalie. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? That is an absurd number of Ys on that hay. What's the pre-quest to the Paladin quest that I need to do? You start in Stormwind. Oh, Stormwind Cathedral. Okay. I will go to Stormwind Cathedral and see what I can find. Where is it? I mean, I've got a quest to be handed in Stormwind Cathedral. Natalie Foster 2 is not a bot. Just because she says hey with a lot of Ys and then doesn't respond to anything else. And also, her account was made 2 weeks ago. I watch your streams. Do you happen to have a Discord account? Natalie, I think you might not watch my streams because I end pretty much all of them with you can join us on the Discord. Red Sky banned Natalie. Natalie, no! A eulogy for Natalie. That was a bot. You don't know that. You don't know her like I did. Natalie. I know that we'd only just met. And I know that you were asking if I had a Discord when I advertised it everywhere, and then you said you were a fan and you've watched all my streams, which doesn't seem to ring true because you did, you'd know I have a Discord, but I think we had something special. And I think had we have gotten to know each other, you would have probably offered to draw art for the stream and asked if I needed any banners or profile pictures, and then you would have sent me AI generated images of them.
Need something? Hey there. Safe travel.
Right, what was the quest he just gave me? He just gave me something, and it's called Brother Paxton. Speak with Brother Paxton in Northshire Abbey. Right, to Northshire Abbey we go. Cyric742. Do we have something special, Josh? Do you love me? Cyric, ironically, that sounds way more like a bot than Natalie did. Is this the Burning Crusade or Classic? Add one to the counter. It's the Burning Crusade. Yes, I do love you, first name bunch of numbers. You know what, I can just use the Hearthstone, seeing as it's still in Northshire Valley. Oh yeah, that's the point. I'm level 20 now? Yes, I haven't yet changed my Hearthstone. So this still takes us back to Northshire Abbey, which is convenient, because that's where I need to be right now. If anything, it was done... That's quite clever of my... Wasn't it? See? Yo, brother.
How are you?
Fix bars in options. What's wrong with the bars?
Good day to you. See you around.
I mean, what do I need? I don't think there are any mistakes. What bars? There are no bars anywhere. This game looks like it came out in the late 1900s. Close, 2004. Ink supplies. Speak with Foreman Oslo in Lakeshire and ask him for a special ore. Let's go then! If he's British, why is he saying Northshire? Like an American. That's just how you say it. Burning Crusade did not release in 2004. No, World of Warcraft did in general. Let's run down. You should say Northshire like you are Yorkshire. No. Okay, fine. Yorkshire. By gum, lad. Oh, I can't wait to use my Hearthstone and get back to Northshire. There you go. Nailed it. 100% spot on Yorkshire accent. You can tell that it's a Yorkshire accent because you start with the phrase by gum, lad. You have to. It's impressive that Yorkshire is a part of the UK that is permanently in the 1970s. I'm pretty sure they still use teletext and CFAX, and I think I saw the children coming out of the mine. Right, where's... Hang on. There is no griffin here. I need to go to Lakeshire. Sorry, by gum, lad, I've got to go to Lakeshire. Where's Lakeshire? That's the Red Ridge Mountains, isn't it? Yes, it is. You know what? Screw it. Let's just run. I'm always up for a nice little walk. Let's just have a little... I mean, Goldshire Rave. This game scares me. I feel like I just walked into something I shouldn't have walked into. I feel like esoteric knowledge happened. A griffin is there in retail. Good. I don't think in retail I'd ever be a level 20 paladin worrying about leveling. I think I'd probably just blitz straight to whatever max level is now. And that's why we only have guild parties while he's away. Look, my job in this guild is to be the anchor of normalcy. The yardstick by which every other yard is measured. If I go to your crazy parties, they aren't crazy parties, they're just guild meetings. I need to play my part as the father figure of the guild. I am the curmudgeon, the stick in the mud, the boring guy, the vanilla. You have the parties, you have the fun, I will turn up and do all of the admin, like not doing anything with the guild bank. I am a glorified hall monitor, and I'm not even allowed in the halls when they need to be monitored. You guys can have fun in the guild only because I set the benchmark of what isn't fun. I am the straight man in comedy. In any good comedy, there's always one character who isn't trying to be funny. That's what the comedy exists built around. That's me. I think you all owe me a bit more respect than you do. Hurts me. I am here. Yes, I am here, MZ, to make you seem more fun. Someone has to be. You hope I'm doing well. You know what, Ollie? I am doing well. Thank you for asking. We're going to be streaming daily from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. UK time. And if you need help remembering that, I've got a new rhyme for you. It goes like this. Every day, 6 till 10. That's the rhyme. Remember that, and we're all good. It's not quite Saturdays at 7, Sundays at 4. Or the other way around, whatever that was before. But it's pretty good. Every day, 6 till 10. That rhyme is hard to remember. Every day, 6 till 10. It's 5 words. Weekdays at 6. You know what? I'm sorry. Kasha, you just come up with a way better one. Weekdays at 6. Weekends at 6. Yeah, that's so much better. We could just do every day. The rhyme goes Monday at 6. Tuesday at 6. Wednesday at 6. Thursday at 6. Friday at 6. It's about to get complicated, so pay attention. Saturday at 6. Sunday at 6. And now I want you to remember all of those lines. Yes. Just say daily at 6. No, that doesn't quite get the point across. Because people will be like, okay, I arrive at 6. When does it finish? I don't think you appreciate how much information this rhyme carries. Every day, 6 till 10. I can't be much clearer than that. Art is not always perfect when you can no longer add anything. Sometimes art is perfect when you can no longer remove anything. When you have reduced the art to the essence of what it is, to the very fundamental core. And the core of this poem is every day 6 till 10. Okay. Kryak, almost. You're halfway there. If I am 15 minutes late, you're legally allowed to leave. That's true. Every day, 6 till 10, sometimes not. Because sometimes I'll be busy and I won't be able to do every day 6 till 10. And, you know, I just won't be able to make it or I'll forget. So, there's leeway. How does Consecrate look? That's kind of cool. Oh, that's what Paladins are doing all the time. Okay, so yeah, we just stick Consecrate down and then wait. The big yellow fart. Got it. That's how Paladins play. So 6 till 10 apart from when it's not that. You've got it. Absolutely spot on. That's all the time we're going to be streaming. How much mana does it use? Oh, a substantial amount. Can you stack it, though? I stream every day except the days that I don't. Yes, every day 6 till 10 except for weekends, which is also 6 till 10. By stack it, I mean, can you put multiple Consecrates down on the same ground? What class did I like the most as a fresh player? I always liked Drama. Is that AM or PM? Listen, cop, I can't include everything in the rhyme, okay? Art has to have a level of mystery to it. An air of mystique. Right, so you've now given me some other quest to do, haven't you? Gather 5 loads of Rethban ore and bring it to Brother Paxton. Right, Rethban ore. Okay, drudges are gathering the ore themselves, which would be... Where's the Rethban ore going to be? Oh, it's that way. Okay. Do I need to... that's going to be a problem. Do I need to be able to mine to get the Rethban ore? Because that's going to be an issue. Are we just supposed to forget the old rhyme? You're not supposed to forget it. Never forget it. Let it live on in your heart and in your soul. But understand that other, more accurate rhymes have taken over from it right now. The same way that songs and books and films sometimes change their title. Simply understand that there are new and more accurate moments. I was indeed a drama teacher before becoming an actor. I learned the craft, then did the craft, then decided to become a YouTuber for the, you know, guaranteed income. I thought, well, you know what job's safer than being an actor? Does it account for daylight savings? No. Is this hardcore? Emotionally, yes. What is it about the MMO that drew you to it? I was just born with that type of autism. Some people got trains, some people got dinosaurs, some people got space. I got MMORPGs. And I've learned over the years to just embrace that. Inju got spreadsheets. Yeah, there we go. And farming sims. You could be German. Have I considered a video about immersing myself in being chat, in being a viewer? That seems like the kind of thing that you were able to make. A +2 stamina, +2 intellect leather belt. What's that stupid belt that everyone goes really crazy for whenever it drops? Is it 4 stamina, 4 strength? Is Josh streaming? Hello, beautiful people. Miriam, why would you say that? I can't believe you would point that out. I'm tempted to end the stream in 8 minutes because of you. Like, where does that whole thing come from? That person getting really excited they got a 4 strength, 4 stam leather belt. Is it a classic meme or something? Is it a classic YouTube video? Okay. I'm going to have to watch it, aren't I? I just tanked 2 enemies for that random person. You are welcome. Come back here. No, don't you run over... Okay, right. Hang on. Kind of find it annoying the enemies can just run straight up. You should not be allowed to do that. Can't you stay an hour longer? As soon as I start doing that, I get myself into bad habits. 8 minutes of you is enough to make me happy. Oh, Miriam, that's so kind of you. I'm sure I can offer you 8 minutes, but what are we going to do with the other 7? I suppose, you know, as tradition dictates, that's just taken up by saying sorry. 8 minutes includes pizza. Probably. Seven minutes and 40 seconds, you mean? Alright, J-Dog, check out Mr. Stamina over here. God damn, leave some time for the rest of us. Probably paint Warhammer. Explain the history of the Imperium. If only I had a 4 strength, 4 stamina leather belt. DoorDash was delayed, so stream is prolonged. No, it's because I've then been streaming for 4 hours and I want to try and be strict with my timings. I need to be. If I'm not, then I'm going to get into bad habits. I know I am. And I can't be doing that. Not again. Okay, I probably shouldn't go to the burning steps. That seems like it's a tad out of my level range right now. But I could go this way. That's true. If I leave early, the rhyme is a lie. Cairo Gate went for a 2-hour walk. Well done. Check you out being healthy. Yeah, lava is pretty bad, so we avoid the lava. Oh my god, come back. Okay, you are meant to be dropping some kind of... Well, okay, that's a problem. This is not going to go well. We bubbled. We healed. Keep going. Do I have any health potions on me? I do. That works. In fact, I got 7, which is lay on hands, so that's good as well. So what I can do is now attack you, then do that. Perfect. We managed to survive. Do I have any... nope, can't do... Oh my god, why? Right, just let me take the item from this guy. Well, that's a problem. I was doing really well up until that happened. Yeah, you better run. It's not a hardcore run. It doesn't matter. It was going well until it wasn't. You were doing really... Thank you. I was doing really well until I wasn't. I used my toolkit. I used my abilities. I paid attention. I did what I should have done. And then they killed me. Let me have my glass of milk. Then go and attack them again. If it doesn't matter, why did you run away? Because my pride would be hurt. It's very important that I feel like I've made the correct decisions. Log out in an inn. Why? You get a bonus for doing that? I mean, if you do, I'll look into it. Oh, like rested XP kind of stuff. Okay, hang on then. Let me just fight this guy. God, he is parrying me a lot. Good lord. Yeah, there we go. Hey, I got one axe. Fantastic. Okay, cool. Log out in an inn. If I am playing this every day, that's probably a really important thing to do, actually. Let me see what I can do. It's like a reward for not playing. I suppose it makes it thematic, doesn't it? If I'm playing every day, then a little bit of rested XP is probably going to be a good little bonus. That's what the Hearthstone was originally invented for. Josh, that's efficient gameplay. If I'm playing every day, then logging out in an inn is a good idea. So I will run back. How many hours do I have on WoW? Probably 100-ish, 200, 300? I'm not sure. Probably about 300 or 400. Not a lot compared to what most people have, but also a substantial amount of time for the average person. We're not that far from the inn, to be fair. Type/played. That just shows you for this character, doesn't it? Yeah, just for this character. This character, 22 hours. Right, let's log out in the old inn and get some rested experience. And then we will be in there tomorrow. Oh, that's 4 hours. Can't go anymore. Right, bye.